Hey everybody, the Reeswerrel here, and welcome back to more of Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Path. Okay, I think everything's alright. I need to turn the game down. Always forget. Boom! We're in that storeroom, aren't we? It's pretty dark down here. I can't see a thing! God, it's quite weird, actually recording the same game twice in one day. Doesn't usually happen. Either way. Whoop. Watch your footing, Emma. Ouch! I think I hit my head. Okay, be careful not to slip. Take your time coming down. Okay. The light switch should be somewhere around here. Aha! Whoa! Hold the... what the... Holy crap, what the heck? No, I'm noticing things from the first game. Yeah, that statue was... it was on the airplane that got switched out. Holy crap. This is cool. This is the hidden 51st floor. Is it being used as a storeroom? Or is it being used as like the smuggler's place thing? We'll need to investigate it more thoroughly. Oh, thoroughly. Okay. So that's updated even more information. Mr. Edgeworth, please tell me about the case. Right then, where should I begin? Of course, fade to black. I see. This is certainly a serious situation. Why does she look like she's having so much fun? Oh man. Looks like you're in a bind, Prosecutorial Attorney Edgeworth. I'm not a defense attorney, nor is there such thing as a prosecutorial attorney. This looks like a job for science. Don't you worry, I've got everything here in my bag. Are you sure you're up for this, Emma? Of course. So, once again, it's good to be working with you, Mr. Edgeworth. And I'm glad to be working with you as well. Alright, she's helping us out once more. Looks like we got ourselves another cute assistant. So, what's the plan? That lift looks pretty suspicious to me. Ah. It looks like it goes down? I am curious as well. But first, we should investigate this room. Okay, if you find out anything, be sure to tell Uncle Ray. And if I remember something, I'll let you know. Yes, please do. Emma. Roger. I'm ready to support. Well then, let's begin the investigation. Alright. So now our partner's Emma. Oh my god. We're getting all kinds of partners, I love it. Don't you think it's kind of creepy how all these masks are lined up in such a dark place? Emma, are you not good with horror movies? No way. Horror movies are so unscientific. So, she's scared of them. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Various masks are placed here. There's even one of the Steel Samurai. Indeed, these are fairly high quality replicas. Scientifically speaking, it's just a bunch of random masks. It certainly does look like a hodgepodge collection of masks. This hook is... looks like a hook to hang a mask from. I wonder what mask used to be here. Let's deduce. Yes, it is. The German Ninja Mask. Sheesh. The German Ninja Mask that Kay had with her. Perhaps it was originally attached to this hook. That sounds plausible, scientifically speaking. In other words, Kay came here. It's quite likely. But for what purpose? Maybe she was going to steal something from this place. A great thief who steals the truth. Huh. No, I don't think we can answer that question at this time. I guess I'm done with that. Where else can I examine? Where's this? There's a transceiver sitting next to all these trophies. It seems like they were lined up together on purpose. Looks like it's still got batteries in it. Might come in handy later. So I'll pick them up for now. I'll be sure to put it to good use before I turn it into the police. That sounds just like what a certain great thief would say. Alright. These are... what is it? The items displayed on this shelf here, if I recall correctly, they're all evidence from past cases that I was involved with. What are they doing here? Oh yeah! You've got the baby from the end of the first game. I guess that would make this the PIC's evidence storeroom, huh? These items should be kept in the care of the police. Don't they keep evidence in the prosecutor's office? Only for current trials. However, once a verdict has been reached, the evidence is transferred over to the police department and stored in the evidence room. But it looks like the evidence has been stored here instead. There's no point in worrying about it. For now, I should try examining everything. Looks like some of the evidence have tags in front of them. There are numbers written on the tags. Maybe they're the ID numbers of the evidence. No, based on how large these numbers are and the nature of these items, I'd say these are prices. What? Prices are attached to the pieces of evidence. They seem rather high. Oh! Yeah, I've noticed what all of them are now. Well, maybe not all of them. At the bottom, you have the perfume that was part, the fake Yatagarasu bitch. I can't remember her name. No, I can't. It was that woman. I really don't remember her name. Cindy something. Was it you? Her name was you. Callista. I am just throwing names out there. I can't remember her name though. Her surname was you. I remember that much. The lantern was from Case 5 of the previous game, I think. Or was it? Green Lantern. Yeah, I think it was. And then you got the baby, which is also from Case 5 of the last game. Wow, these are ridiculously expensive. She seems more concerned with the high prices than the legality of this whole affair. The evidence on display. I should inspect every nook and cranny. He really does like to say that, doesn't he? What was this? That's strange. Only this one spot is empty. But it still has a price tag, just like all the others. Indeed. Furthermore, there is a part of this cloth that is not covered in dust. Perhaps something was placed here not so long ago. I see. It sure seems like it. But what could it have been? This star-shaped mark in the dust. I wonder. Could it be related to a certain piece of evidence? Who knows? Oh, how cute. This stuffed animal is so fluffy. That's from God Lake. Oh! It should be in the care of the prosecutor assigned to that case right now. Why is it sitting here in a place like this? Huh? This little guy's missing his left horn. His left horn. Pretty sure it was already missing when I first saw it. Then, this must be a defective product. I demand a recall. Now that I think about it. Giving a broken toy to a country's president does sound strange. Okay, stuffed animal, the same stuffed animal we saw in the Zengfar president's plane, missing its left horn. Ooh. This storeroom contains items to be sold, doesn't it? It's unfortunate, but the possibility seems quite high. I suspect some nefarious individual has been selling evidence here. And people actually pay money for this stuff? Apparently. Some people do. The price tags are proof. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. I guess that's one way of looking at it. What the hell was here? A star? Do I have anything on me? Oh. 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 Yeah, it's the candelabra. I still don't know how you say it, so... Candelabra it is. This dust pattern matches up perfectly with the base of the candelabra. It's likely that the killer got the candelabra from this very storeroom. Oh. Does that mean the candle thing was also a piece of evidence? It's quite possible. However, that is not the issue here. The murder weapon originally came from this storeroom. We must keep that in mind. So evidence was used as a murder weapon. My god. I don't know if there's anything else there. What else is there in this room? What is this? Oh, that's the thing! It's the head from the first game. Oh, I love this storeroom. You got the painting. The painting from, God, what's he called? Shit. Marvin Grossberg, from his office. It went into, Red White's office. Yeah, that's the painting. You've got the blue badger from Case 5 of the first game. Oh man, I love this place. It's just bringing back so many memories of this series. God, I can only imagine. I probably wouldn't be able to remember half of this stuff if I hadn't done the series back to back. There's also the suitcase from the previous game. Either way, getting sidetracked. There's a huge stack of money piled up here. How unrefined. They're all $100 bills. Talk about big bucks. Stacks of cash found in storeroom. A big deal went down here. So, how many times your yearly salary do you think this is worth? Leave my salary out of this. Okay. So, prices and big bucks. Whoosh! So from the price tags attached to the pieces of evidence, and that huge stash of cash, it's clear that the buying and selling of evidence was being carried out here, in the hidden 51st floor. Evidence was being trafficked. This clearly means something. It seems further investigation is needed. About the dealings that went on in this place. If only there was a witness. We could just ask them. A witness? If only. Ba-na-na-na. This statue. Is it going to show me it? Yes, is it some sort of new fact? No. This is evidence from a case that I was previously involved in. I believe it was called the Alice Red statue. There were supposed to be two of them, one real and one fake, but no matter which one this is, it's unnatural for it to turn up in a place like this. Mr. Edgeworth, you've really seen a lot of cases. Huh? What was that noise? Whoa! It's a lot of heart! Gotcha! Yippee-ki-yay! I got me a scoop! My eyes! Stop it! You ain't getting away from the Great Lotus camera that easily. I reckon y'all must be criminals. I must snap 16 shots before you can even say cheese. We're not criminals. Hey, do you not recognize me? Oh man, really? You ain't fooling my camera of justice with those words. You are... Huh? You're... Ain't you that heinous prosecutor from back then? Who are you calling heinous? This is a lot of heart. She's a photographer I've dealt with during my past cases. I see her distinctive accent and her chatterbox mouth haven't changed a bit. Just look at that face. You're obviously up to no good. It seems she has a bad impression of us. Now it's time to pay your dues. Stand still while I photograph you. Photograph y'all. We only came here to investigate. Lies. You think you can fool me like that? Mr. Edgeworth? She's not listening at all. She seems harmless. Let's just leave her be for now. Alright. Oh. Can I speak with her? So, why did you come here? For the people of the world, and for myself. I'm a social justice photographer after all. Social justice? Oh yeah. That's definitely the look people have when they speak of social justice. It's like, oh god. Then allow me to guess the reason why you came here. Was it perhaps to expose the illegal evidence trafficking? Oh, I get it. You were trying to get a scoop of on the secret dealings. I've also just realised her glasses have got, like, writing in them. Or is that the reflection from the keypad she's holding? Who knows? Huh. Y'all know that much already. Well, I reckon there ain't no reason to hide it anymore. My sources tell me there's some kind of black market auction being held around these parts. What did you say? So then all this evidence here is... Yep, they're the goods for the auction. There's a lot of dirty money flying around here. I wanted to try and catch it with my own two eyes. My source gave me a whole bunch of info, but... I figured just hearing about it ain't enough. Seeing is believing after all. So I've been staking out the place from behind this here statue since yesterday. The auction took place late last night and went until the early morning. A murder on the night of the black market auction. Could the two events be related? The auction! This bloody song. Is it... I don't know if it's Lot of Hearts theme, or if it's... just a theme in general. Not sure. Black market dealings in the Grand Tower. Guess I really hit the mother lode this time. Were all the items in the auction pieces of evidence? There was some normal stuff too, like stolen art and the like. I wouldn't consider stolen art to be normal, but I reckon the evidence was the star of the show here. These folks are law fanatics, trying to get their hands on the latest goods from the police. So that's what you wanted to get pictures of, Miss Ha? Pretty much. They were meeting right under this very storeroom, so I watched them from up here. You said you were here since yesterday. Did you witness the entire event? It was a black market auction after all. They followed a fairly detailed procedure. First, the participants entered the storeroom from the viewing platform one at a time. When they got in, they each took one of those masks on the wall over there. Funny thing about those masks, they're all equipped with voice changers. Itty bitty ones. That way they wouldn't be recognised. They wanted to protect their... an anonymity? You mean their anonymity? Yeah, that's it. Oh, I really want to try to pronounce what she said. Their anonymity. Why not just say identity and make things easier for all of us? After putting on the masks, they'd go down the lift. And the next fellow would come right in. On the way back, it was the exact same thing, but in reverse. They'd come from the lift, take off the mask, put it back, and then go back up. They'd come up one by one, return the mask, and head up out of the storeroom. Wow, that's pretty thorough. So, won by the participants of the auction, many different types were provided. How many participants were there? 11 people altogether. I counted each of them as they made their way down. Auction participants entered the storeroom from roof one at a time and exited the same way. Alright, what happened? So I'll have you know, I wasn't just laid up behind this statue the entire time. Then where were you in the beginning? The beginning? Well, don't you worry yourself about that, you hear? So, she was hiding behind the statue the entire time. I watched the folks coming in while lurking in the shadows. All secret agent-like. Note to self, secret agents like to lurk in the shadows. And then, they used that lift over there to get down to the auction site. After they all went down, I watched the whole thing from the lift. Did that lift stay down the entire time? No, it came back up. But there's a tiny gap in the floor there. There's a bit of space between the floor and the lift platform, you see? So I could see just about everything that was going on down there. Then did you see the person who was conducting the auction? Well, yeah, you betcha I did. What kind of story would this be if I didn't know who the conductor was? The conductor, huh? It seems I'll need to ask her for more details. Conductor! Do you have any more information about this so-called conductor? You know, I came here to get me a scoop. What makes you think I'll give up my info to you all willy-nilly? Basically, what you're saying is, you don't know. Ah, I see. So that's why she won't answer. What can I say? I couldn't even tell how old they were, or if they were a guy or a gal. Can you tell me what the person was wearing at the time? They had on a white jacket with a purple flower. Oh, and they were wearing white gloves. But you know, that don't mean much when I have no earthly clue who they really are. So the conductor's identity was hidden, just like the participants. That's right. They had on a mask and voice changer, just like everyone else. What kind of mask did this person wear? It was a Zervan mask, I reckon. Zervan? What in blazes is that supposed to be? Mr. Edgeworth, you don't know about Zervan? He's a sworn enemy of the global hero... Onion Capon? No idea. Zervan, the ruler of time. Seriously, who hasn't heard of him? Most people, I'd imagine. Since the conductor wore a mask, I assume you were not able to see their face. Not even a teeny weeny bit. And after I came all this way for my big scoop... This whole story's turning out to be nothing but fool's gold. Conductor's clothes. The conductor wore a white jacket with a purple flower, white gloves and a mask. Age and gender unknown. Not true. We know who they were. That set of clothes seems familiar. Perhaps I should show her that piece of evidence. You said the conductor wore a white jacket with a purple flower and white gloves? That's right. They sure look spiffy for a criminal mastermind. Miss Hart, did they look anything like this? Hey, that's it. That's a conductor. Oh. Hold your horses. Aren't you telling me are you telling me the conductor is dead? She is the victim of a case we are investigating. Her name is Jill Crane. Have you heard of her? Can't say I have. So, she was a lady, huh? What kind of gal dresses like that? She get her kicks by fooling me into thinking she's a guy? I doubt that her intention was to deceive you. Setting that aside, we have established something of major importance. The victim was the conductor of the black market auction. I see, so the conductor was killed. And that might explain... Explain what, Miss Hart? No. It's nothing, honest. Miss Hart, you clearly sounded suspicious just now. And I'm telling you, I ain't. Can't be. Sorry, were you trying to say something? No, I ain't. I ain't said nothing. Please don't be like that. Just tell us. How many times have I got to tell y'all? I'm a journalist. Journalist. Information is what pays the bills. I can't just go around spouting everything I know. I've already said too much. I got nothing left to say to y'all. Then, what if I found some fingerprints for you? What good would that do to me? Do me? I don't want none of your dusty old prints. Why don't you two follow my example and do some investigating of your own? Ugh. I guess you won't tell us anything. Not to worry, Emma. Just leave it to me. I have a certain method of drawing out information from those who wish to hide it. If my opponent's lips are sealed, I will be the one to unseal them. Let us begin. It's logic. Chess time. First, let's analyze my opponent's demeanor. Ooh. I ain't telling you nothing, so quit wasting my time. She seems rather impatient, as if she's trying to cut off the conversation. Okay, I must be careful with my time. I won't have long to consider my responses. I'm almost certain that she's hiding something from me. That's where I'll begin my attack. Now, time for the first move. Why, how fast does it go? Oh man, that's fast. Let's calm down and talk this over. Don't you think you're overreacting a bit? Let's just calm down and... I'm always calm, now leave me alone. Wait and see. A real journalist. Always keeps her cool. Speaking of journalists, I have something interesting to tell you. A few days ago, I met another self-proclaimed journalist. She spoke with an accent quite similar to your own. She spoke like me? Then maybe it was... Yes, it was your student. Nicole Swift. She had a distinct way of speaking, one very much like your own. Furthermore, she said that she had a mentor. Could she have been referring to you? Oh, so you know Nicole. Well, ain't that a fun little coincidence? Where'd y'all meet? Wait, no, stop trying to get me to spill the beans. Phew, that was a close call. It seems that she lets down her guard when she talks about Miss Swift. Oh, this could be a useful clue. There we go. Give me the information. So why don't you tell me everything that you know, right now? No way, Jose. I ain't spilling my guts to someone I have no connection with. Perhaps I should use that clue. There we go. I'm an acquaintance of your apprentice. You say I have no connection with you, Miss Hart? But don't we have a mutual acquaintance with your apprentice? Oh! Well, that's... I reckon it would be mighty cruel of me. to give Nicole's friends the cold shoulder. Then why don't you share, pardon me, with us what you know? Well, when you put it like that, I guess I could let you in on my scoop. No, I ain't falling for your nasty tricks. No siree. Your scoop? No, just forget it. It ain't nothing important. Do you have a scooter? Do you have a scoop? Oh! Well, there's one of them. Such a slip of the tongue. It's hardly becoming of a journalist. You have a scoop, don't you? Now tell us what it is. Oh! Rook defeated. Woohoo! Alright, you got me. I had me a perfect scoop. I ain't telling you what it is. I'm gonna sell the story to a publisher. The information she is hiding could be vital to the investigation. I need to make her talk. Next, I will press her on the contents of her scoop. Do I get full time? Oh, okay, good. Whew. She may be quick to lose her temper, but she's even quicker to loosen her tongue. She is not a difficult opponent. Now, to extract the information I need. Is it related to the black market auction? Does this scoop of yours have something to do with the black market auction? What are you talking about? I don't know nothing about that. Weren't you in the middle of infiltrating the black market auction? The only logical conclusion is that your story has something to do with it. You ain't getting any answers from me. I didn't hear nothing. Oh, did you hear something at the auction? You didn't hear what exactly? Did you hear something during the auction? No, that's... I just heard a weird sound, is all. It ain't even worth mentioning in my article, just forget about it. There's no question, something happened during the black market auction. She heard a strange sound. This could be a useful clue. Okay, so is it related to some sort of incident? Does your story pertain to an incident of some kind? Well, maybe it does. And maybe it doesn't. It's hardly a clear answer. Why are you always hollering at me? Ain't done nothing wrong. I just snuck in to do some investigative reporting. You were trespassing. You didn't do anything wrong? That's a bold statement. Considering you're currently trespassing on private property. Oh! Hey, you're doing it too. Well, I guess the prosecutors got the right to investigate wherever they please. I probably shouldn't mention anything about the current state of my employment. Yeah, probably not. There are far worse people in the world, you know. I reckon I'm a saint, compared to folks who murder. Oh! Is your scoop about a murder incident? Oh, look at that smirk. Considering what you just mumbled, is it possible your scoop has something to do with a murder incident? Hey, I was only talking in general terms just now. I mean, anyone would look like a bag of roses compared to a murderer, right? It sounds like you're just making excuses to me. All I did was gather info on the black market auction. I swears. The murder incident? I don't know anything about that. Ain't seen or heard nothing. Perhaps I should use that clue. There we go. Didn't you hear a strange sound? Oh, we're using a bishop. Didn't you say you heard something strange during the auction? If it stuck out to you so much, it must not have been a sound that you would normally hear. For example, the screams of a murder victim. Oh! How do you keep figuring everything out so quick? That's right. I stumbled upon a murder in the middle of my stakeout. But please, don't make me say any more. This is the biggest scoop I've had in a while. The murder that she overheard. It's most likely the same incident we are currently investigating. This is bound to be crucial information. I'll finish this by confirming the credibility of her information. Oh, more time. Thank you. She has nowhere left to run. It's time to deal the final blow. Did you really stumble upon a murder? Did you really stumble upon a murder? You calling me a liar? Them's fighting words. I'm a bona fide journalist. I would never publish lies in my articles. Faster and more accurate than anyone. That's my motto. Her motto, huh? This could be a useful clue. I should keep it in mind. Tell me more about the incident. Tell me what you know about the murder incident, in full detail. Well, my memory ain't what it used to be. Not much I can talk about. I ain't the most attentive gal in the world, you see? Perhaps I should use that clue. Isn't accuracy part of your motto? I'd hardly expect a bona fide journalist to be so inattentive. I can't say that word. Inattentive, I guess? Whatever. Didn't you just say your motto is to be faster and more accurate than anyone? Well, that's... as I expected. The credibility of your information is suspect. But I know what I heard. I even got proof. Oh! You have proof? You have proof? How is that possible? Explain yourself at once. I got me some Wait, you heard that? Well, I was just talking to myself. Y'all just go on and pay no mind. It seems she's still hiding something. This is an important clue. I'll need to use it effectively. Are you still hiding something from me? Tell me the truth. I know you're still hiding something from me. Ain't hiding nothing from nobody. I already done told you everything I know. Perhaps I should use that clue. There we go. You still haven't told me everything. Ah, checkmate. Isn't there something you haven't told me yet? You have evidence regarding the incident you witnessed. Something definitive enough to publish in an article. Oh! Yeah! What in tarnation? Let me off the hook already. Fine, I'll tell you everything. I'll even show you the photo I took if you stop harassing me. That good enough for you? Checkmate. Oh! Very good. I love logic chess. It's so good. It just is. It's so fun. I love it. Now that is one hell of a nickname. I lost. I really lost. The mouth of the South has been defeated. Now then, it's time to come clean. Tell me everything that you know. I was watching the auction, gathering info for my story. You didn't just watch though. You got shocking photos too, right? Ugh. A little while after the auction started, someone won a bid and the conductor banged the gavel. Someone hollered, "We'll finish the deal upstairs," or something like that. That ain't good, I thought to myself as I hurried back to hide behind the statue. Did you see whoever came up? Not quite, but I reckon the fella that came up was the winner of the bid. I could smell the buttery aroma of big fat wads of cash. Buttery aroma? I can't imagine that at all. I reckon this room is where the bidders ponied up the dough for their purchases. The two of them talked for a while. Wait, there was a second person in the storeroom? You betcha. I reckon it was the conductor. Oh. Then out of nowhere, one of them started screaming. Almost scared my britches off. I rolled myself up into a ball and kept on laying low. So, you witnessed the murder? Well, I wouldn't say that I witnessed it, but I definitely heard it though. Didn't you try to stop them? Just stop right there. That ain't even funny. What's a dainty little thing like me gonna do? Dainty? After that, I heard me some rustling and bustling. The whole time, I was really regretting coming here. Something fierce. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, but nothing gets in the way a lot of hunting her photos. Okay. This was my big scoop. Ain't no way I was gonna let it slip away. A bit later, I heard this loud thud. I figured it was my last chance to snap a photo from behind the statue. Well then, would you please show us the photo? Aw, why do I have to? Oh, red raincoat. This is... the person in the red raincoat who attacked Kay. The person in the red raincoat assaulted the victim in the storeroom. And then attacked Kay on the roof? So a photo of someone in a red raincoat, touch check button for details. There's only one person in this photo, where's the victim? Yeah, I thought it was strange too. I could have sworn there were two of them, but when I looked, there was only the one. But that's gotta be the killer, don't you reckon? So, she's saying the victim disappeared. Victim disappeared. The murder may have occurred in the storeroom during the auction. Boom. Boom. You were able to tell this person was the culprit just by looking? Their hands were stained bright red, so I figured it was them. What happened to the auction after the murder? Nothing really. It just went on like normal. I guess those rich folks didn't give a hoot. They got some nerve. The nerve of a journalist is nothing to scoff at either. Lots of testimony about the secret auction. Touch check button for details. Very nice. Logic. There we go. If we assume that the murder took place in this storeroom, then we must conclude that the body was here as well. Huh? Isn't that pretty obvious? Do you remember how the participants left the auction? Of course. They'd passed through this storeroom on the way back from the auction. Ah! Exactly. The culprit had to hide the body, so that the participants wouldn't discover it. The real question is, where? Where was the body hidden? Culprit hid the body so it would not be seen by auction participants. Where would a body be hidden? Emma, would you mind lending me a hand? Leave it to me. What do you want me to do? Let's see. Use your luminol reagent to test for a blood reaction, if you would please. Okay, let me show you the power of science. The glint in her eyes is getting brighter by the second. Let's start by examining that ladder over there. Based on Miss Hart's picture, the person in the red raincoat headed towards that ladder. Chances are, something will turn up if we check there. I really hope I can use the thing. So just touch anything you want to examine. If you do that, you'll be able to spray the luminol reagent at it. If there's a bloodstain on the spot where you sprayed, you'll get a reaction like this. Even so, no matter how many times I see bloodstains, they're always so gruesome. There's a blood reaction here, but it's kind of faint. Let's spray it with luminol 2 or 3 more times so it'll be nice and clear. You can see it clearly now. Looks even more gruesome than before. Do you understand how to look for bloodstains now? Well, yeah. Of course I do. There are probably a few more bloodstains here, so why don't you give it a try, Mr. Edgeworth? Select the area via the touchscreen. Oh, I have to use the touchscreen. Oh, shit. Alright. I got it. Good job I have a mouse. Yeah, because that's something you can't use the sticks for. Let's search the rest of the storeroom for bloodstains just like that. First, let's look for a place to spray the luminol reagent. Maybe in here? It's a box. You want to examine this spot? I don't see why not. Let's spray the luminol on every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Oh, there we go. There's some. That it? Mr. Edgeworth, there's a bloodstain here too. However, why is there a bloodstain in a place like this? Maybe something that had blood on it was stored inside. Bloodstain in the costume trunk. A bloodstain was found inside the costume trunk at the storeroom. Where else? Mr. Edgeworth, there are places we still haven't checked yet. So let's continue our investigation. The lift, maybe? May as well. Let's spray luminol on every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Sure. Oh! I see it. Oh! Well, there's that. Mr. Edgeworth, there's a reaction. It's a bloodstain. But why in a place like this? Perhaps this was where the murder took place. It looks like some of the blood dripped down to the floor below. Oh! That would explain why there's the pool. The pool of blood in front of the Goddess of Law statue. Oh. Blood on hidden lift. A bloodstain was found on the hidden lift. Blood seems to have dripped down to the floor below. Looks like we found all the bloodstains in this storeroom. It seems we have investigated the storeroom sufficiently. Logic. Where was the body hidden? Fairly obvious. The reason why we found a bloodstain in the costume trunk is because the murderer hid the body in that box. I wonder who won the bid for it. The trunk, I mean. That I don't know. In a certain way, everything worked out exactly as someone wanted. Hold it, hold it. It couldn't have been that dressing box. What do you mean? When I first came down here, that box caught my eye too. It was just the right size and would have made the perfect hiding place. That's what I thought, anyway. But I couldn't get the dang thing to open. It had been wrapped up real tight with a locked chain. The murder happened after that, so hiding a body in there would have been impossible, you know? A chain wrapped around it. That's a bit strange. Right now, it doesn't seem to be locked up at all. Huh? That's weird. Maybe my eyes were playing tricks on me or something. Costume trunk. The killer hid the victim in this box. A bloodstain was found inside. And with that, I believe we have examined everything there is to examine here. Well then, let's head on down. Oh, have we decided on our next destination? Yes, Mr. Shields. We wouldn't want you to get lost, so make sure you stay real close to Uncle Ray, okay? Right. I'll follow you closely, Mr. Shields. These two. Since when did they get along like that? It's because Kay doesn't have her memories. Oh man, look at us. Look at us all go. This is where Judge Courtney will be like, huh? Yeah. Oh. So the auction took place in the PIC meeting room. What? Mr. Edgeworth. Good evening, gentlemen. Oh. This place is... Is this the auction hall? No, it's the meeting room from before. Oh. How nice of you to drop in, Kay Faraday. Yeah, we'd forgot. She's still the suspect. You've got some guts. Hey, you guys, arrest her! Arrest her! Wait, Kay is... As for the rest of the riffraff, just show them out the door. Are you shitting me? Oh my god, she's taking pictures. This is tyranny. Yeah, it's tyranny, pal. Miles, this is kinda bad. The light of justice shines above me. Ooh! Oh, Franziska. Oh, she whipped him like... God, 3 times. But why me too? Oh, that's strange. I was aiming for that weak ex-prosecutor. You were clearly aiming at me. Maybe something got in my way. Particularly... Did he just collapse? Right around there. Franziska. Just what do you think you're doing here, ex-prosecutor Miles Edgeworth? I do not believe that Kay is the culprit behind this incident. You're just an ordinary man without investigation rights. What you say does not matter. I am Franziska von Karma. I will never stop moving forward. However, you chose to quit. The outcome of our battle has already been decided. I cast away my badge, because it became a milestone around my neck. Or was it millstone? Probably millstone. I shall continue moving forward even without it. The path I walk will surely lead to the truth. My actions are driven by that belief, and that is something which will never change. So you're saying that you found a path to the truth? Then show it to me. But if that path proves to be a foolish one, it will not survive my whip. Okay. So Franziska's logic. The victim used her keycard and entered this room with the culprit. Then, the culprit stabbed the victim in the chest with the candelabra, killing her. Shouldn't the letter make it obvious who the culprit is? Of course, the crime scene was right here in this room, the PIC meeting room. The proof is the bloodstain we found here in the meeting room. That settles it, Miles Edgeworth. It doesn't, though. Miss Von Karma seems really confident, doesn't she? Ah, I see. She's a fiery one, isn't she? I don't mind a feisty cutie. So, how about an introductory hug? Well, I saw that going. How repulsive. Well, Miles Edgeworth, can you break my logic? If you truly have no intention of stopping here, prove it to me with evidence. Very well. I'll show you, Franziska. The evidence that paves my path. Am I able to press, or do I literally have to present? Because I really want to press on everything. It's fun. I like to do it. Was there nothing suspicious about the security system? The meeting room security is perfect, much like my logic. There is no room for doubt. Your logic isn't as perfect as you think. In any case, your opinion has not changed. Yes, the victim and the culprit entered the room together. Bum bum bum. Did the victim's wounds match up with the candelabra? I feel stupid every time I say that word. The victim's chest was pierced in 3 places simultaneously by a sharp metal object. Is there anything else that could have done such a thing? That should all be written in Dr. Young's autopsy report. So you're sure that the murder weapon was the candle thing? Exactly. As for who the culprit is... shouldn't the letter... Do you have anything to confirm that the letter was actually sent by Kay? Are you proposing that it was forged by the real criminal? That possibility was dismissed some time ago. There were no traces of forgery on the letter. Of course, there were no other traces besides Kay Faraday and the victim found on the letter. Are you saying you found Kay's fingerprints on the letter? The only fingerprints we found belonged to the victim. In other words, you can't really say that Kay is the culprit. Didn't I just say that the possibility of a forgery has been dismissed? That letter was originally sent by Kay Faraday. Therefore, it is only natural to assume that she is the culprit. Okay. Crime scene was right here in this room. It wasn't, though. It was in the auction room. Do you have any proof that the crime took place in this room? Von Karma is perfect in every way. Perhaps you forgot that when you gave up your badge. The proof is the bloodstain we found here in the meeting room. That settles it, Miles Edgeworth. You're wrong. Where is it? There we go. That blood pool is because of the blood that was on the hidden lift. If memory serves me correctly, the blood in the meeting room was found in front of the statue of Lady Justice, was it not? To murder someone before Lady Justice. This culprit knows no fear. I wonder about that. Have a look at this piece of evidence. Blood was found in the storeroom right above the meeting room. As you can see, there are signs that it has dripped down onto the floor below. And right under the hidden lift is... the statue of Lady Justice. Then you understand, the murder did not take place here. The killer murdered the victim in the storeroom, and then moved the body to this room. What Lady Justice witnessed was a coward trying to conceal their crime, and not the moment of the murder. Okay. She's smiling? Pardon me, I just remembered a conversation quite similar to this one. As I expected, Miles Edgeworth. Such naivete couldn't possibly be an act. Just how is Mr. Edgeworth naive? I knew he was going to get whipped. Have you forgotten? Or are you just playing the foolish fool? The amount of blood in the meeting room is clearly greater than in the storeroom. Please don't just hit me and then ignore me. Ah. Such a large amount of blood couldn't have simply dripped from the floor above. And even if it had, there should have been much more blood left behind in the storeroom. The murder could not have occurred anywhere other than this meeting room. You're as predictable as always, Franziska. What? The difference in the amount of blood is just as you say. The question is, why does such a difference exist? That issue is trivial. I've already explained it with my perfect logic. In that case, how do you explain the blood that was found in the storeroom? I don't suppose you're going to tell me that it somehow sprayed all the way up there. Like a water fountain? No way. Exactly. It's impossible. In other words, the reason for the difference in the amount of blood is... the amount of blood in the meeting room and the storeroom are different because... the weapon was pulled out here. Yeah, and the blood... it would only... yeah, they lose more blood when the weapon is removed. Because obviously if the weapon's inside, there's nowhere for the blood to go. Aside from maybe a couple bits of it to just drip down or whatever. The victim died of a stab wound. Naturally, there would be a significant amount of blood loss. That's obvious just from looking at the bloodstain. But that's so weird. She was attacked in the storeroom, but there was less blood found there than... Silence, you third-rate prosecutor. But I'm the best. Do you know when you lose the most blood after getting stabbed with a sharp object? Ah, I know. It's when the sharp object is pulled out, right? Precisely. After being stabbed with the candelabra, the body was moved to the meeting room. And then the murder weapon was pulled out right here in this very room. That would account for the difference in the amount of blood that was left behind. But why would the culprit go through all that trouble? Most likely to give the impression that the murder occurred in the meeting room. It seems Miss Crane's keycard was used last night. But based on the time of use, it must have been a ploy by the culprit to mislead us. In all likelihood, it was the culprit who used the keycard to enter the meeting room. Why would the culprit have needed to do that? Perhaps he feared the storeroom, or that the storeroom would be found out during the investigation. If they were involved in the auction, they would not have wanted it to become public. Meeting room blood. A pool of blood found in the meeting room. Was it left behind to hide the storeroom's existence? Oh, probably. The auction, you say? Perhaps you should go upstairs and see for yourself what items are on display. I'm sure that will allow you to understand what occurred here. Impressive, Miles Edgeworth. You're willing to go that far to protect her. There's something big lurking behind the scenes of this case. Kay simply got caught up in it. You're exaggerating. Am I now? More than anyone, I would think you'd understand the significance behind all this. Why would you, a prosecutor working with Interpol, be involved in a domestic case? Wasn't your objective to crush a certain international smuggling ring? If your search for smuggled goods has led you here, then isn't this feeling I have related to the case? I'm relieved. You haven't lost your touch, even though you've turned in your badge. I've heard about your situation, from Scruffy over there. Sorry sir. I just wanted to help out somehow. A wise decision, Detective. Franziska, are you the one in charge of this case? Isn't Interpol pursuing the black market auction? And what if I am? That's not something you need to know. So, you knew about all this from the very beginning. You knew the black market auction was being held right here. Oh. Hey, mind if I butt in? About that gal who turned up dead. You! Hey, I ain't done talking yet. You ain't changed a lick. This case doesn't need even a fragment of your faulty testimony. What are you saying? I'm a bona fide journalist. Back then, you gave false testimony. Miss Von Karma seems to really dislike Lotta. Yeah, I can't say she's fond of her. Ain't that Crane gal one of them PIC members? She's a spitting image of the conductor. I reckon she's... She hit me. She hit me again. What is the meaning of this? Answer me, Miles Edgeworth. From Miss Hart's testimony, we obtained a description of what the conductor was wearing. And it matches what the victim, Jill Crane, was wearing. You mean to say, the one who was murdered was the conductor? Miss Von Karma, maybe you should calm... It would seem that a new fact has just been brought to light. Indeed, I came here in pursuit of the black market auction. In order to arrest the organizer of the event, in other words, the conductor. If we believe Miss Hart's testimony, then the conductor is already dead. Wouldn't this mean that your investigation has ended in vain? That's right, however... I swear on my name that I will not return empty-handed. I challenge you, Miles Edgeworth. A challenge is fine, but... Why is she readying her whip like she's out for a victim of her own? 'Cause she is. Oy oy oy. Alright. I will concede your argument. The murder occurred in the storeroom, correct? That would mean the culprit is someone who participated in the auction. If that photographer is correct, the victim was the conductor, and the culprit was a customer. The culprit waited for the victim in the storeroom, where the goods were delivered. Then they stabbed the victim in the chest with the candelabra, and in the storeroom. Indeed. That is all. I trust you have no objections. Unfortunately, that is not the case, because there is a hole in your testimony. As I expected of Mr. Edgeworth, I didn't notice anything at all. Well then, please settle this one with one blow. Yes, of course. Watch as I crush her logic. Do I actually only get one try, or what? Yeah, I guess. I probably don't. I will concede your argument the murder occurred in the storeroom. Yeah. You were surprisingly quick to concede. I simply cannot deny facts that are backed by evidence. That is all. You have proven that the murder occurred in the storeroom. Ba 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 ba. The culprit participated in the auction. I'd like to hear your basis for this claim. When I spoke with the staff of this building, not a single one mentioned the storeroom. The storeroom's existence must have only been known to a select few. And that's where the items for the auction were being stored. I see you understand. Yes, the culprit participated in the auction. Okay. Bum 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 bum. Boom 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 boom. So you're saying that the victim was the auction's conductor? Right. And the culprit, a customer. Hey, ain't you the one that told her that just a moment ago? Yes, that's right. However, I was simply making sure her logic is clear. That ain't right. You're doing it wrong. This is the part where you're supposed to say, I done goofed. The culprit was a customer participating in the black market auction. What tarnation? Now you've done it, don't cover for him. Of course. That is only if this photographer's testimony is indeed true. I can't tell whether they're on good or bad terms. The issue here is the culprit's actions. Wait for the victim in the storeroom, where the goods were delivered. Miss Hart was in the storeroom at the time. Oh, pardon me. Could the culprit really have been waiting there? Objection! I don't know where she was hiding, but... since you've seen it, you must know as well. There are numerous hiding places in that storeroom. So the culprit was hiding while they waited for the victim to arrive. I believe the crime occurred after the auction ended. After all, the victim was the organizer of the auction, the conductor. During the auction, the organizer would have to be in front of the customers the entire time. After the auction ended... Please add that statement to your testimony. Did it end? Or did it occur after? The auction continued even after her murder. Woo! I gotcha. Oh, pardon me. As I thought, you are one step behind. What did you say? The victim was not the conductor, and I have proof. Miss Hart's testimony. That photographer's testimony is not trustworthy. What are y'all saying? I'm a bona fide journal. Cease your idle chatter. Oof. Francisca, calm down and listen. Miss Hart witnessed a part of the murder. The main point here is that after witnessing the murder, she says the auction continued. That's right, sure as can be. They all just kept going on shamelessly. Do you think the auction could have continued without someone conducting it? If the victim was not the conductor, the person killed must have been a customer. Ah, okay. As I said from the beginning, Kay is not the culprit. After all, she herself was attacked by someone and lost consciousness. In which case, that would also make her a victim. If the auction continued after the incident occurred... Yes, and the victim was not the conductor, but a customer. Oh, okay. That's enough. Oh, it's Courtney. That voice. You don't even need the voice, it's the hammer. That hammer. It could only be. Order in the court. The chairman will now enter. God, I hate her so much. Oh! My, no need to be so stiff. Actually, feel free to call me Blaze. Blazy. I don't know if his name's Blaze or Blaze. Well then, Blaze, what brings you here? Huh? Well, I just wanted to see if my idiot son was working hard is all. Is this kind of father-son relationship really healthy? He really likes to play with fire. I had come to light a fire under you, but it seems I found an unexpected bonus. To think that the criminal who has become the talk of the town would be here of all places. Everyone restrain the suspect at once. Please wait. Kay Faraday is not the cult. Oh. This is quite troubling, Edgeworth. Didn't I tell you earlier? The PIC desires a swift resolution to this case. If it's not, we could lose our trust with the public. They'd call us the Waste of Time Committee. You know, it's troubling for me as well, that sort of thing. And at my age too. And on top of that, an illegal investigation is not something that I can overlook. Oh my god. Have you forgotten? You are no longer a prosecutor. You have lost all your authority. Furthermore, you evaded a criminal in evading the law. Yes. That's right. You're so reliable, Courtney. I am aware of the consequences of my actions. You may punish me as you wish. However, we have found a new suspect. It's the person pictured here. Kay Faraday was attacked by this person and... Of course. There is no need for your explanation. Just recently, a red raincoat was discovered in the vicinity of this building. The victim's blood and cherry blossom petals were found on the hood. Cherry blossom petals? Now that you mention it. On the viewing platform? Yes, they probably stuck on due to the blood. They were littered around the bloodstain. And we've received the forensic report on the blood, you know. There's no doubt about it. The person in that photo is the victim, Jill Crane. What did you say? Really? Worn by the victim's fingerprints and blood were found on the hood. Oh. Impossible. That would completely destroy the foundation of our logic. We believed that the person in the raincoat was the culprit. Now it turns out that person is actually the murder victim? Wait, if that's the case, then the prime suspect would be... Miss Faraday. You met a person in a red raincoat on the rooftop, did you not? Yes, I did, but... The person in the red raincoat was the murder victim. And Kay Faraday came into contact with that person. Since one of the parties is now dead, what happened next should be clear. Kay was attacked by that person. As the victim, it would be impossible for her to be the culprit. There is no evidence she was attacked, is there? Furthermore, we must consider the possibility that the victim fought back. It's far too early to come to that conclusion. Kay is not the criminal. You're wrong. Kay? That's wrong. Even though I don't want to believe it myself. After hearing about the raincoat, I finally remembered. I only remember a little, but from what I saw that night, the culprit is me. Eh? What? I remember looking down at the person in the red raincoat. Mr. Edgeworth, it was me. The culprit was me all along. That can't be right. Then why? Why do I have that memory? That person collapsed before my eyes, engulfed in a pool of blood. Why didn't I do anything? It must have been because I killed her. It's clear to me the validity of Kay Faraday's memory. Didn't you doubt it until just now, pal? Congratulations, Miss Faraday. Your courage will surely allow you to be forgiven. Now, let us rejoice in the blessings of the Goddess of Law. Allow me to give my opinion as an international prosecutor. Her actions as a criminal are overruled. Hurry, arrest Kay Faraday at once. How dare you behave that way before me? You're being too forceful. Further verification is necessary. I'd even go so far as to say this is unlawful. Unfortunately, the law does not side with you. It sides with me, you see? But you know, the beautiful bond between you two has been etched deeply into my heart. That reminds me. We seem to have forgotten one additional suspect. Edgeworth. That's you. Huh? How? Are you on crack? What's that, pal? Mr. Edgeworth hasn't done anything wrong. I beg to differ. That's right. You see, he's no longer a prosecutor, sadly enough. I'm starting to suspect Blaze more and more. Your actions have gone too far this time. An illegal investigation, and assisting in the escape of a criminal. I can't even think of you as a former prosecutor, now humbly accept your punishment. Oh my god. Oh yes, that's right. I believe the plan for today was to hold your hearing before the PIC. Why don't we leave the hearing for tomorrow? Even though the result is already crystal clear. You should think long and hard about what you've done. Very long and very hard. Court is now adjourned. Boom! Jesus. To be continued. Ridiculous. As if. Edgeworth. Culprit. My arse. I mean, we know it's not Edgeworth. Where the what? We've been detained! Wait, isn't this Nightly cell? This is the second time I've been in this cell. All of my evidence has been taken from me. The only thing I have left is Kay's Yatagarasu's badge. I'm worried about Kay. Is she alright? The culprit is me. That's still bullshit. I remember looking down at the person in the red raincoat. Mr. Edgeworth, it was me. The culprit was me all along. Oh dear. You have a visitor. Please hurry out. A visitor? Who could it be? Someone by the name of Dick Gumshoe. Will you turn him down? No, it'll be hard to face him though. Oh wow, we're on the other side of this. God, this is weird. Wait there. He's not going to stay and keep watch. Pardon me. Gumshoe, it would appear you have grown breasts and become a woman. Judge Courtney. Hush. Wait. Please, have a seat. Why are you here? I was told the detective had come. If I didn't instruct them to tell you that, you wouldn't be sitting here right now. I can't think of anything she'd need from me at this point. I should try to figure out what she wants. The visit. Your visitation rights have been restricted to begin with. It's as if I'm some monstrous criminal. I suppose my credibility has hit rock bottom. But of course, your friends have fared a little better though. That lawyer and that girl were both quite worked up. Mr. Shields and Emma. When I last saw them, they were giving one of the guards quite an earful. What? You don't mean... Be grateful, the goddess of law has been quite busy. They were spared punishment. It certainly seems like you have plenty of time for small talk. Oh yes, Prosecutor Von Karma is presently continuing the investigation. You were worried about them, right? I guess you saw right through me. Okay, what the hell is your goal? Let's go to the chase. Exactly what are you planning? I'm not planning anything. There is merely a question I wish to ask. You're asking me? Yes, of course. Who else is here? Objectively speaking, you are a clever individual, and you have a sharp mind. Okay, she's buttering me up. As a prosecutor, you are highly talented and capable. Are you being ironic? Your sarcasm falls short. I am being completely sincere, and that is why I cannot understand. Take this case, for example. You're up against the PIC. There is no chance for you to come out on top. Even a child could understand, and yet, you... Perhaps my younger self would not have done something so reckless. The me from before had power. That's why I thought justice was on my side. Just like you right now. However, because of a certain man, my self-centered sense of judgment was broken down. Ever since then, I began to see people in a different light. I'm able to serve as a prosecutor only because of the support of the people around me. People like Detective Gumshoe, and all the other investigators. And Kay as well. Honestly, even I'm surprised at how much I have changed. I see. Is that how it is? I've come to understand you a little more. Understand me? Not likely. Someone like you, who forces her own sense of judgment onto others, could never understand. I wonder about that. Is that what you think? If I could say one thing, it would be that this conversation has been very interesting. That is all. Our conversation is coming to an end. However, I have one last thing to tell you. The date of your hearing has been set. I came here today to inform you. Today in the PIC meeting room, may you humbly accept your fate. If that's all you wanted to say, couldn't you have just sent a messenger? The holy words of the goddess of law simply cannot be entrusted to others. With that, Mr. Edgeworth, I bid you farewell. I shall be seeing you again later. I just don't get her. She's confusing, and a bitch. Okay. And now we're back in our cell. Woo! Oh, man. Oh, I'm actually able to investigate. There's a poster on the wall next to the toilet. We are currently out of toilet paper. Please be prepared if you wish to use the toilet. What does it mean by be prepared? There's a dining menu sitting on the desk. It seems I can get food delivered if I pay for it. Let's see. Mouldy white bread lunch set. Switch to mouldy whole wheat bread for an extra $1. Oatmeal and grits set meal. For a limited time, get extra gruel at no additional cost. Thank goodness I'm not hungry right now. Yeah, mouldy bread. Lovely. I mustn't neglect my personal appearance just because I'm in a holding cell. Prosecutor or not, this is my personal duty. My collar is slightly bent. There. A well-groomed appearance reflects a well-groomed mind. From here on, I'll need to focus myself more than ever. Really? Oh, Edgeworth. It's a simple bed. I don't expect it to be very comfortable to sleep on. If it were Detective Gumshoe, he would probably snore loudly while sleeping like a log. I may never get a chance to work with him again. However, this is the path I chose. I won't regret it. So what else is there? There's the window. There are thick bars placed securely on the window. That reminds me, I watched a movie that had iron bars just like these. It was about a plan to escape a prison by filing down the iron bars. Of course, I wouldn't do such a thing. I don't even have a file. No, even if I had one, I still wouldn't do it. What else is there? This? There's a poster hanging in the hallway. Ugh. The Dice and Slice game... Oh, Dice and Slice game. Roll the dice and double your daily menu. The Dice and Slice game has been cancelled due to the warden's arrest. We sincerely apologise to everyone who was looking forward to it. There's no need to apologise for cancelling such a silly game. Oh, there we go. Yay, I did it. Another visitor. Kay! It seems you're alright. I'm relieved. For now. You know, this is kinda touching. You look a little down, Kay. Please, cheer up. You didn't do anything wrong, I guarantee it. Please, just accept it. I'm a murderer. That's not true. Why won't you believe in yourself? What should I believe in? I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing to believe in? That's not true. Before you lost your memories, you literally jumped into my life. As a result, your words and actions have become engraved in my memories. That's the mark you left behind. How can you call that nothing? I believe in your innocence. That's why you must believe in yourself as well. Thank you. But it's no use. Look at all the misfortune I've brought upon you. If you can, please forget it all. Your memories of Kay Faraday. Aww. Kay. And there's Blaze. You know, this takes me back. In my youth, I too was a gallant. Is this the kind of justice that the PIC seeks? Justice, huh? I wonder. This man, what is he planning? Why is he pushing things forward so forcefully? It all seems too unnatural. Is there a hidden agenda? There's no time left. It's all or nothing now. Well then, I must take my leave. Hold it. Oh, God, okay. No matter how you look at it, Kay's arrest was unnatural. There must be something behind it. Oh my God. Hey, I'm a busy man, you know. I'm kind of a big deal, you see. I trust this won't take up too much of my time. In order to make it out of this situation, I must break through his defences. There are plenty of things I want to ask, but my time is limited. First, I'll ask about why he rushed the arrest. I have no intention of letting him push me around. I will overcome this difficult situation. Logic chess, begin. Why did you rush her arrest? Why did you rush her arrest? I would like a clear explanation. Explanation? What are you talking about? Don't play dumb with me. You clearly did not follow the proper procedures. Okay. Maybe you should pipe down a bit. Do you even know the position you're in? Wait and see. Suppose we let the criminal escape. What do you think will happen? What will happen? I would be made to take responsibility, you see. I do hope you understand. Just take my advice and stay out of this. If you know what's good for you. I refuse. Kay is innocent. You know, this is so pitiful. It brings me to tears. Why won't you just give up? Things were finally going well. What? Things were going well? Excuse you? Things were going well, you say? That's a strange way to put it. It almost sounds as if you personally wanted Kay to be arrested. Far more than necessary. Haven't you lost your impartiality? You think so? That certainly wasn't my intention. You see? Edgeworth, my boy, you're reading too much into it. He skillfully avoided the issue. Interesting. I am getting closer and closer to just assuming it's him. Yeah. I mean, why else would he want it? Like, things were going well. However, I still have some serious doubts about Kay's arrest. Next, I shall ask him if the investigation was sufficient. I can't miss even the tiniest piece of information. That's the only way to break through this situation. Was it under your authority? It's hard to say that the investigation was sufficient. The arrest, was it under your authority? My, do I really look that important? The Prosecutorial Investigation Committee, Chairman. It's quite a prominent title. Not that I care much for it. That was rather blunt. I'm so shocked. I could cry. I'm sorry. Flattery was never my forte. If you keep talking like that, towards me, you'll never get your prosecutor's badge back, you know? Okay. I don't need my badge. Let me make this clear right now. I do not live for the sake of my badge. Status means nothing to me, do you understand? Young, so young. Let me teach you something as your senior in life. What you're saying right now, it's far too naive, you see. The look in his eyes has changed. He might respond differently to some of my questions now. This is my chance. Oh, how long did you investigate? How much time was spent on the investigation? Well, aren't you an impertinent one? Even someone like me is starting to get annoyed. What a coincidence, I feel the same way. Answer me, was the investigation sufficient? Young folks always live life in the fast lane. That's why I like to bully them. You'll regret this soon enough. You sure are quiet. Are you scared? Heh, ridiculous. I was just thinking about my next strategy. On how to extract information from a weepy old man. You should show some remorse, you know? Don't you get it? I hold your fate in my hands. Right, okay. In any case, even if you obtain some information, there's nothing you can do. Just give up already. I refuse. Mind if I ask why? It's simple. The truth is fading away. That's all there is to it. I see. I'm starting to understand what kind of person you are. Well, you know, it's all useless. It's enough to make me cry. Give it up. That girl's guilt has already been decided. Okay. It's been decided, has it? That's strange. The way you said that, it almost sounds like it was decided from the very beginning. What are you trying to say? Her arrest was planned. Yes, it's clearly unnatural. Everything is progressing as if Kay's guilt was predetermined. Wasn't Kay's arrest planned from the start? There goes another night. I see. That's an interesting theory. But I don't have time to indulge in your flights of fancy, you know? Why don't we put an end to this silly conversation? Curses! He's trying to get away. Oh, the music. Before that, I must find out if the arrest was lawful. How fast is this going to be going? It's still very faint, but I'm beginning to see the path to the truth. I can't let this opportunity slip by. Well, it's not that fast. I still have more to ask you. Please wait, there is still something I want to ask you. I've grown weary of our little... Oh, is that a tete-a-tete? Please, keep it short, okay? What's the basis for your arrest? If I put together what you have told me up until now, I cannot help but say that there is no basis for Kay's arrest. Yes, I understand, you see. But you know, It doesn't really matter either way. You can't overturn her arrest. How irresponsible. Do you still claim to be a man of the law? My. Those are some harsh words, you know? You know, you're starting to make me a little angry. Oh. You see, to be honest, I really can't answer all of your questions, you know? That's just the position I'm in, you see? I'm a busy man, you know? Aren't you just pretending to be busy? That's cruel, you know? This old chunk of coal has been working like a dog. Pretending? Just what do you think that would accomplish? You don't want to talk about it, do you? You don't want to talk about the case. Isn't that why you're trying to get away from this place? How sad. Yes, how sad indeed. Do you really suspect little old me? I actually really do. I do suspect you, and I'm confident about it. There was clearly no basis for Kay's arrest. My, have you forgotten? Wasn't there evidence? The mask, the letter, and the corsage, all were found in the girl's possession. Not to mention, she even confessed. All of this serves to prove her crime. That's... Any objections? Okay, wait and see. Objection! You see, you have no response. It's true. I have no objections, although there is one point that bothers me. This man seems awfully familiar with the evidence. To remember everything without missing a beat. That intrigues me. This could be a useful clue. So I still have more to ask you. Please wait, there's still something I want to ask you. I've grown wary of that. Who made the decision? Who was the one who made the decision to arrest her? Well, I can't say I remember. Growing old is a terrible thing, you see. My memory's not what it used to be, you know? Perhaps I should use the clue. You remembered all the evidence. Don't play dumb with me. Didn't you remember all of the evidence in full detail just now? Stop pretending to be a forgetful old man when things aren't going your way. Why, it's still ain't destroyed. Jesus. Now then, who was the one who made the decision to arrest her? I see. You're a sharp one, aren't you? You know, I wish my son could learn from you. Because he's a real idiot. I'm not interested in your son. Who made the decision for the arrest? You're a bad man, you know. Don't you already know? The one who ordered her arrest? Obviously, it was you. The person right in front of me. I'm certain of it. Oh ho ho! Ouch. Wow, alright. You make it sound like I committed some kind of injustice. Guess I'll have to clear that up. My honour's at stake here, you see? Very well. I'll continue to play along with you. Until you are satisfied. What is most crucial here is how much this man knows about this case. If I can get him to reveal that... It's do or die. If I can overcome this, I'll reach the truth. You seem to know quite a bit. You seem pretty familiar with the case. I'm a wise man, you know. I'm familiar with most things, you see. I don't think it was very wise of you to arrest Kay in that case, or in this case. Okay. I'm a very busy man. I can end this conversation anytime I want, you know. Don't you forget about that. This would have already been over if you had simply answered my questions. If you give me a proper answer, I won't take any more of your time. I will ask you once again. Why are you so familiar with this case? I read the case files, you see. Honestly, it was quite a drag, you know? But it's my job, so what could I do? Because of my position, you see. I can't just skip out on it. Well, I had some time to kill, so I read the whole thing, you see. You just said you were busy. That's strange. Didn't you just say you were very busy? Aren't your faults slowly coming to light now? If you truly wish to protect your position, I would advise you to rescind the arrest order. You really are desperate, you know? That never say die attitude. It touches my heart. But you know, it's unfortunate that all your hard work was for naught. Because we discovered her unconscious body near the crime scene, you see? You found her unconscious? What was the weather like at the time? Why the fuck would you ask that? This is the first time I've heard of Kay's condition when she was found. She was unconscious in the storeroom. That's right. The source of that information is classified, though. This man knows things even I don't know. Does he know the whole story behind this case? This could be a useful clue. So, about Kay. The suspect regarding Kay. How much do you know about her? She's a suspect in this case. That's all I know, you see. Scout's honor. There we go. Don't you know the whole story? Something you've said feels out of place. You know about things that the crime scene investigation never revealed. Why is that? Just how much of the truth do you know? Oh. You're making that forceful face again. You know, it kinda makes me want to do the same. Like this. Wait and see. You really are a persistent one, you know? But I could admire that, you see. I will take that as a compliment. Can't you give it a rest already? At my age, my body's not as strong as it once was, you know? There is no one else who could be the culprit, besides her. She was even given that much evidence to show that she committed the crime. She was given evidence. She was given evidence? She was given evidence, you say? That's an odd choice of words. It almost sounds as if she did not possess them under her own will. I see. You really do have a fine eye for the details. As expected as a former prodigy prosecutor. You've already found your answer, haven't you? I'm listening, so go ahead and say it. There's no need to hold back. I finally wrenched open the heavy door to the truth. Now, all that remains is to strike the final blow. Kay is not the culprit. My, that's a rather bold claim, you know? Anyone can shout objections at the top of their lungs, you see, Mr. Former Prodigy Prosecutor. I shall break through this with that clue. The true culprit was someone else. There we go. Is that finally checkmate? Kay was framed. The true culprit is pinning the blame on her. That is my answer. Yeah! Oh god, he burnt his beard. Yes, you're a clever one. Almost makes me feel bad that your prosecutor's badge was taken away, you know? Yes, it's as you say. Checkmate. Ah. So is he the culprit? I'm still thinking he is. You arrested Kay, even when you knew of the existence of the true culprit. Don't toy with me. There is no way such an act would be tolerated. You sure are green, you know? That's what a prosecutor is supposed to do. It will all work out fine, if we make her guilty. Who would desire such a resolution? If I had to say, maybe the PIC, and also maybe me, you know? When I heard your words just now, I could barely hold back my tears, you know? It was just so splendid, you see? And it burns me up inside. I'm not the most perfect piece of work, you know? So I can't forgive such youthfulness. You say the truth is important, but, you know, once you know the real value the truth holds, I wonder if you can still say the same thing. What are you trying to say? When you get to where I am, you can just create your own truths anytime you want. Kay Faraday is the culprit. That was a truth that I simply manufactured out of thin air. Good, very good. That face, that expression. You were such a desperate one, you see? That's why I really wanted to bully you, you know? You see, even if you know the truth, there is simply nothing you can do. And that's the real value of truth. So shocking that it's to die for, you know? Why won't you pursue the true culprit? How much of the truth do you know? Do you understand now? The truth that you believe in is worthless, you see. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Powerless former prosecutor. You. Ooh, scary, scary. You know, I guess the friends of a heinous criminal are also quite heinous themselves. Blaze, you! And like this, you see, one more person will disappear before me. Ah, here come the waterworks. These tears of mine just won't stop, you know? Yeah, I really am certain it's him. Especially with all the shit he's pulling. Everything will be decided in today's deliberation. Kay's innocence, I will definitely prove it. Yeah! Alright. Oh, here we are. Oh, there's Blaze. 10 members are present. Is that the quorum? Quorum? No idea. Has been met. From here on out, let the council begin. Today's deliberation shall be about Miles Edgeworth's aptitude and ability as a prosecutor. Let our members discuss this matter with a clear conscience of the goddess of law. A clear conscience. Don't make me laugh. Courtney, please give us your report. Baba. On April 5th, Prosecutor Edgeworth carried out an illegal investigation and resisted arrest. He was arrested by 2 of our members, who caught him in the act, myself and Blaze the Best. Prosecutor Edgeworth disrupted the investigation of attorney Jill Crane's murder. He claims that the culprit Kay Faraday was arrested without sufficient evidence. Even now, his claim remains unchanged. Tell us more about the murder incident. On April 5th, the victim's body was found here, in the PIC meeting room. Regarding the details, I, Sebastian de Best, the best prosecutor, will enlighten you. The prosecutor in charge, Sebastian de Best, will explain the rest of the details. The murder happened on the night of April 4th. The victim was one Jill Crane. On the same night, a black market auction was being held in this very meeting room. I guess Miss Crane was taking part in the auction. Yep. The murder occurred in the middle of the auction, did it not? No. When Miss Crane was found, she was dressed like the conductor of the auction. However, based on the fact that the auction continued after the murder occurred, I deduced that Miss Crane could not have been the conductor. You weren't the one who made that deduction. Sebastian, please show everyone the basis for the arrest of the culprit. You got it, Justine. Kay Faraday was unable to bear the weight of her good conscience. I believe you mean her guilty conscience. Yes, it was her guilty conscience that drove her to confess the crime. According to her confession, on the roof of this building, she met a figure in a red raincoat on the viewing platform. So Crane was wearing a red raincoat. Yes, that's correct. The culprit used the conductor's clothes as a red herring to mislead us. At the time of the murder, Miss Crane was wearing a red raincoat. It was I who discovered the raincoat near this building. He did? I'm sure it was the forensics team who found it. To be more precise, it was the forensics team under Sebastian's orders who discovered it. I thought as much. According to the blood analysis, the person in the red raincoat and Miss Crane were the same person. The decisive evidence is the culprit's own confession. Testified that she killed her. Oh, she testified that she killed her. That's right, the culprit... God, I got the hiccups. The culprit is Kay Faraday. It couldn't have been anyone else but her. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you have any objections, let's hear them. I have no objections. I see. It seems all the fight's gone out of you after your little overnight stay. Not true. I have no objections to your claim that I investigated illegally. I admit to that. However, I object to the claim that Kay is the culprit. Of course. I will testify that Sebastian's investigation was fair and just. Ha ha ha! Of course it was Justine. Don't you know that I'm the fairest of them all? Edgeworth, my boy. Despite how things may seem, I actually kinda like you. If, and this is just an if, you see, if you were to withdraw your objection, you might be sitting on this side of the bench tomorrow. I'll ask you one more time. Do you have any objections? Don't take me for a fool. I'd advise you to watch what you say. This man is the one who should watch what he's saying. I'm talking about the case, not about a chair. I demand a testimony. By all means, let me hear it. I want to know how the PIC understands this case. A testimony from us, eh? Fine then, if that's what it takes to make you happy. Courtney, give him the materials from the investigation. Sir, but that's... It's the end of the line for him. I'll let him go out in a blaze of glory. If you insist, Mr. Chairman. Papa. Received evidence from Judge Courtney. Perfect. Oh. Why don't we have Courtney give the testimony? I have no objections. Mr. Edgeworth. Don't worry, Kay. You just watch from over there. Oh yeah. So, summary of the case. Miss Crane went to the black market auction as a customer. The red raincoat was one of the items up for auction. We believe that she left her seat after winning the bid for it. The only exit from the storeroom is the hatch that leads to the viewing platform. Miss Crane went out to the viewing platform, where she was attacked by Kay Faraday. And that's how she met her end, and that concludes my summary of the case. And that's wrong. The red raincoat was up for auction? Is that a fact? It is quite likely. The red raincoat has been, or had been, a piece of evidence in the assassination attempt on the president of Zhengfa, as you well know. Originally, it should have been stored in an appropriate place. But when I asked about it, I learned that it went missing. And it somehow made its way to the black market auction. Certainly, a natural conclusion. My, well done, Courtney. Your explanation is as clear as ever. I am much obliged. Prosecutor Edgeworth, will you concede defeat now? Huh, sorry, but I don't plan on it. I see. I am relieved. Relieved? Does she mean... Come to think of it, her reason for questioning me yesterday remains a mystery. Just what is she thinking? Maybe she knows the true culprit. Like who it is. Bum bum bum. So you're saying that a member of the PIC was involved in illicit dealings? Regarding that, I have no response. He's right, you know. After this hearing is over, we're going to have to clean up our act. A splendid decision, Mr. Chairman. No. It is only natural, you see. There is no need to flatter me, you know. But you know, that has nothing to do with you at all, Edgeworth. Because by then, you won't even be a prosecutor anymore, you see. Well, now that this tearful business has been cleared up... Yes, sir. I will continue. God, I hope you don't interject with every single one of them. Because it'll take a while to get through this. So the red raincoat was also up for auction. Yes, it had belonged to Shelley the Killer. Oh my god, he is. Based on the circumstances, we must consider that it was an item up for auction, you see. That was what he wore when he targeted the president of Zhengfa. Oh. There was a mannequin that was positioned unnaturally amongst the goods. Or the auction goods. That may have been where the red raincoat had been on display. Do you know how the goods were procured? We're currently investigating it. But it's none of your concern, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Soon, you'll be nothing more than an ordinary individual, and then you will be finished. It seems the result of this deliberation have already been decided. Enough about me, please continue your testimony. Since the raincoat had been up for auction... Why would the victim immediately leave her seat? That had to do with how the auction was conducted. It seems that after the winning bid, the winner was required to pay for the item immediately. That matches up with Miss Hart's testimony. We believe that Miss Crane paid her bid for the raincoat, and then immediately tried to leave the auction. The only exit from the storeroom is the hatch that leads to the viewing platform. The victim was a PIC member. Couldn't she have also just left from the meeting room? If she had done so during the auction, then its existence would have been revealed to the public. Since Miss Hart knew about it, it seems the cat is already out of the bag. The customers were required to enter and exit from the hatch. Miss Crane was simply following protocol. Considering when the murder took place, she must have tried to leave through there. Miss Crane went out to the viewing platform where she was attacked by Kay Faraday. I am gonna object. Oh, there. With Lotta's photo. If she was already attacked, why is she... Why do they have blood all over their hands in this picture? Judge Courtney, I found it to be strange for a while. Or for a while now. Why is Miss Hart here with us? She is an eyewitness to this case. Isn't it only natural for her to be in attendance? Aw, shucks. I reckon I'm more of an earwitness than an eyewitness. Huh. It seems that gaining the trust of others isn't your strong point, Judge Courtney. Perhaps I simply do not wish to be as tactless as you. It appears you have failed to get the witness to tell you the most vital information. Please look at this photo. This was taken by Miss Hart. This photo seems to have been taken in the storeroom. And what of it? According to your reasoning, the incident took place on the viewing platform. However, Miss Hart encountered the incident in the storeroom. That's right, it had taken place just before this photo was taken. Wait. If that's true, then Justine's reasoning... Exactly, it does not hold up. What? Miss Hart, allow me to ask you again. You saw the person in the photo with your own eyes, correct? I sure did. I seen him plain as day with my own two eyes. And what did you think at the time? I figured I was about to get me a big scoop, you know? I guess that makes sense. That's not what I meant. What did you think of that person? Huh? Well, I reckon she'd help me bring home the bacon. Are you mocking me? Oh, shucks. Don't make that scary old face. Just a harmless little joke. The person in the red raincoat. I reckon they were the culprit. I hope you understand now. The crime occurred in the... Go okay. Prosecutor Edgeworth, I cannot understand your argument if you do not say it out loud. If you had simply asked, I would have been more than willing to explain. Explain what? The sounds Miss Hart heard may not necessarily be related to the case. Bullshit. That is impossible. Enough of your excuses. Was the voice that Miss Hart heard really that of Miss Crane? Such a shady conversation must have had something to do with the case. What did her voice sound like? Her voice? Well, beats me. How was I supposed to know? They were both using voice changers. Yes, the voice Miss Hart heard had been altered by a device. We must therefore question whether or not they have any bearing on this case. You need not object just because you wish to sigh. Judge Courtney, it seems I have greatly overestimated you. No, Courtney is quite amazing, you see. You claim that the sounds Miss Hart heard have no bearing on this case. Even if they do not, it doesn't change the fact that the crime took place in the storeroom. At the very least, the crime must have occurred before the victim went up to the rooftop. The reason being... Oh, here we go. This evidence proves the crime occurred before the victim went to the viewing platform. Whoop. Yeah, the hand. At first I thought the person in the red raincoat was the culprit. Well, Miss Hart's testimony certainly made it sound that way. Precisely. It was because she saw that person's hand, or that the person's hand was covered in blood. Anyone who heard her testimony would have arrived at the same conclusion. The person in the red raincoat was the culprit, and the blood on their hand was the victim's. However, if the person in the red raincoat was the victim, then the situation changes completely. Since blood can be seen in this photo, it must have been taken after the crime occurred. It seems we've been under the wrong impression in regards to the victim's condition. This photo shows the true condition of the victim. The victim was still alive after the attack. The victim was definitely attacked in the storeroom. Immediately afterwards, the victim was seen with blood on her hand. That must mean the victim was still alive even after she was attacked. The blood on her hand must have come from her own wound. Which means when she got to the rooftop, she collapsed. No way, are you saying that she died from a hand injury? No, that's not the case. I suspect she just held her hand against the wound. It can be seen in the photo, but at this moment, she must have already suffered a fatal wound. Oh, if that's true, then it changes a lot of things, you know? It seems you understand. This refutes all the allegations against Kay. Kay encountered the victim after this picture was taken. I believe at that point in time, the victim was already on the verge of death. It's likely Kay just happened to be present when the victim reached the end of her strength. That is quite the coincidence. Indeed, I can only say that she was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Prosecutor Edgeworth, it seems you have forgotten a crucial fact. Ah, you mean that, right? He must be pretending that he hasn't noticed it, you see? What did you say? Are you implying that I forgot something? Courtney, I think it's about time you gave him his last rites. Hey Pops, Justine's with me, you know? Don't order her around like that. You know, even though you're my son, you're so embarrassing. Jesus. I'm not embarrassing. I'm sorry, but you're both rather embarrassing. Justine, give Mr. Edgeworth his, Very well. I shall give him his last rites. Wait, is this another... Oh, it's another argument. Oh, okay. What is my contradiction? Edgeworth's contradiction. When the body was found, there were 3 wounds in Miss Crane's chest. I'm sure you're well aware that what kind of wounds these were, right? Yes, she was stabbed in the heart with the 3-pronged candelabra. Is there any person who could survive such an injury? Please take a close look at the autopsy report. Can you still say the same thing after reading it? Oh. I didn't even get to read that. I will offer a rebuttal, of course. Why would you do that? Didn't you hear what Justine's just said? Of course I did. And I still plan to object to it. It's not fair! You're always opposing me at every turn. It was never my intention to oppose you. Huh? Really? It's simply not worth my time. I see. So that's how it is. Yep. After all, That's enough, you know. You're embarrassing your father, you see? Huh? What do you mean, Pops? What a pair those two are, Jesus Christ. Right, Edgeworth's contradiction. When the body was found, there were 3 wounds... Oh, I already read these. 3 wounds. That sounds rather painful. Indeed. We must punish the culprit accordingly. Kay, do not listen to what she says. Judge Courtney, please continue your reasoning. Very well. She had 3 wounds. Did I ever check the coat? Oh god, I don't even know if I'll be able to check it, will I? Oh, this hood! Okay, so there's blood on the hood of it. Oh, I probably did read that, it's just not occurred to me. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-dum. Why don't you ask Sebastian instead? Of course, Sebastian knows all about it. Huh? Me? Yeah, I know everything. He's obviously lying. Sebastian, maybe you should sneak a peek at the autopsy report, you know? Let's see here. The fatal wound was caused by a candelabra. Oh, so that's how it was. The cause of the wound was just as Sebastian said. What a fucking idiot. She was stabbed in the heart with the 3-pronged candelabra. What about the head wound? Because now I know there's blood on the hood. Does it show that in this too? you can't really see it, so I don't think so. Chairman de Best, do you know what this is? It seems to be a red raincoat. How about it, Courtney? The victim, Miss Crane, was wearing this earlier. Prosecutor Edgeworth, must I repeat my explanation to you all over again? I suppose it just might come to that. Judge Courtney, answer me this. This red raincoat was stained with blood. Do you happen to remember where specifically those bloodstains were located? Of course I do. They were on the hood. Wait, that can't be. Oh, the bloodstain was only on the hood of the coat. I just assumed it meant on the hood and the, regular bits. Maybe. Wait, it can't be. What does this mean? Judge Courtney? Were there any other bloodstains? Oh, pardon me. Besides the one on the hood? None were detected. Don't you think it's strange? The victim died from a stab wound to the chest. In that case, there should have been bloodstains on the front of the raincoat. However, the only blood they found was on the hood. This is a huge contradiction. Bum bum bum. The wound on the victim's head is no ordinary wound. After all, the victim sustained this wound before she was stabbed in the chest. It does appear that way, doesn't it? The victim first suffered the head wound. If she had already been stabbed in the chest, the raincoat would have been stained with blood. Therefore, it is unthinkable that her chest was stabbed before she suffered the head wound. So the order of the wounds would be first the head, followed by the chest. However, does that really change the situation? With this, a contradiction is born, one that overturns all of the assumptions up until now. Is the change really that great? I look forward to hearing it. Well then, it's contradiction. Why don't you show it to me? With evidence. Which piece of evidence shows the contradiction that arises from the order of the wounds? This, because it says the head wound was post-mortem. Bum 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 bum. This is the autopsy report written by Dr. Young. According to this, the head wound was post-mortem. But that's not what the raincoat shows. Exactly. It's the exact opposite. What is the meaning of this? Bailiff, hurry and summon Dr. Bonnie Young at once. Until we hear what she has to say, we cannot close the curtains on this case. Yes, ma'am. Understood. Bloody hell. Dr. Young is a busy person. It will take some time for her to arrive. In the meantime, let's try viewing this case from another angle. There's something that's been on my mind. One of the key figures in this case. The conductor. We still don't know who that person is. Now that you mention it, even after our investigation, we still have no idea who it is. The conductor has come up time and time again during this hearing. However, at this point in time, their identity remains a mystery. How about it? Do you have any ideas? I'm still not sure at the moment, however, there is someone I have in mind. A certain individual involved with this case who might know something about it. Who's that? Blaze de Best. I demand your testimony. What? Don't say such a stupid thing. Why would you suspect Pops? Because he's suspicious. Are you trying to cast suspicion towards the chairman of the PIC? Do you understand what that means? Status and prestige mean nothing but before the truth. That man is trying to pin the crime on Kay. The evidence that was in Kay's possession, the ticket stub, the mask, the corsage, these items did not come into her possession out of her own volition. By some method, that man purposely planted them on her personage. It is hard to believe such a sudden accusation, but I'll ask just in case. Why would he do that? Obviously, to direct suspicion towards Kay. I succeeded in drawing out those words from him earlier. Mr. Chairman, your response? Are you too shocked to speak? And what of it? Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said, what of it? You say that you drew out some words from me, but you don't have a shred of proof, you know? No one else heard it but you. It just doesn't work like that, you see? Or do you have something else? You know, some kind of basis for your argument? His confidence. He also showed it at the cell. Prosecutor Edgeworth, I would like you to explain once more. I trust we have your permission, Mr. Chairman. But of course. I'm pretty interested in this matter myself, you know? I'd like to know just what part of me seems criminal to Edgeworth. There's no one as honest as I am, you see. How can I say that with a straight face? Let's start from the top. The fact that the auction was held in this room is a cause for suspicion. This is the PIC meeting room. I imagine it would be difficult for non-members to enter. That's why all the members have keycards, you know? I think we can assume that multiple auctions have been held here before. Therefore, suspecting a member of the PIC would be the best. Yes, because the conductor had to have been a PIC member. Wait, no! What? What was that all about? What do I do, Pops? I just helped the enemy. Sebastian really is an idiot, you know? But you see, Edgeworth, I'm not the only one with access, you know? Indeed, there are 11 members in the PIC. Even if we rule out the victim, Miss Crane, there are still 10 potential suspects. Oh, bloody hell. It's not me. But it couldn't be the chairman, right? I don't know who it is, but whoever it is should just come forward. Bloody hell, what are we causing? Yes, everyone, just calm down, you know. Edgeworth, is that all you got? Where's the evidence to suspect me? Oh, so you've fallen silent. But you've gone too far, you see. I won't forgive you anymore. It's too late for regrets, you know. I'm a very important man, you see. Former Chief Prosecutor and Chairman of the PIC. It's fine if you're not prepared to face the fire, you know? Because you see, you'll get burned. Either way, it won't make any difference. Oh god. Blaze looks really sadistic. Because I'm gonna bully you. You've been rambling on for quite a while about the most trivial details, you know? Like the location of the murder, the order of the wounds, and, what else was there? It just doesn't matter, you know? Because, you see, none of that means anything, you know? Think about it. We've got the suspect herself saying she killed the victim. That's all that matters, you see? She'll even get a lighter sentence with her confession, you know? Now then, if there are any contradictions, be my guest. How can that be considered a testimony? There must be a contradiction somewhere. That person. He's very important, isn't he? Mr. Edgeworth? It's alright. Let's just give up. Surely I must have killed her. I can even remember it. Don't be tied down by your muddled memories. If you want to believe in something, believe in me. Oh, believe in your own innocence. Believe in me, who believes in you. But my opponent is the PIC chairman. Taking him down won't be easy. However, he has underestimated me. If I can take advantage of that. Sure. Rebuttal. Ba-ba-da. If these trivial details create contradictions in the case, we cannot call it the truth. It's fine as long as the rest of the case makes sense, you know? Every case is going to have a small contradiction or two, you see? But if we get bogged down by the details, we won't be able to arrest the criminal. Trials would go on forever, you see. You of all people should understand, you know? I don't. That's why I'm asking you. Ah, young folks these days. Anyways, you were rambling on about stuff. Location of the murder, the order of the wounds, and what else was there? Banana, banana. The autopsy report, and the questions about the conductor. Were you even listening? Talk is cheap, you know? I was listening, you see, but I didn't think much of it, you know? You didn't think much of it, even after I brought up all those issues. Perhaps your judgment needs to be questioned, rather than my ability as a prosecutor. Dun-dun-dun. That's a good one, Edgeworth. But, you see... Oh. Okay. Just doesn't matter, you know, because you see, none of that means anything, you know? Okay. How can you say it doesn't matter? Are you trying to suppress the truth? Well, you see, it simply doesn't matter as much as you say it does, you know? You see, Edgeworth, you're only saying it matters to avoid the real issue here. Think about it, we got the suspect herself saying she killed the victim. It may be true she confessed, however, that does not make it the truth. She is suffering from memory loss, so we must question the credibility of her testimony. Oh my. Even if you say that, you know, it still won't solve anything. What good will it do to deny her confession? Sounds like nonsense to me. Wanna try asking her again? I think she'll just say that she's the murderer again. Not again, though. Very well. Let's try asking her again, one last time. I'd like to hear from Kay herself, whether or not she is the culprit. Huh? From me? Will that be alright? If this goes poorly, it will be quite unfavourable for you. I do not mind. However, I shall ask Kay the question myself. I'm moved to tears, you know. Oh, how touching, you know. How very touching. Fine then, I'll let you ask her. However, I have one condition. If all this proves to be a waste of time... How much paper does he have to burn? Then that will be the end of it. How's that sound? The end? Of the hearing? Yes, yes. It seems you can be a smart one. You can be smart once in a while, Sebastian. In other words, you see, if she confesses again, Kay Faraday will be found, beyond a shadow of a doubt, guilty. Yep, it's a fine idea. Guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, that's right. That's harsh. But either way, if I do nothing, she'll be declared guilty. Kay. Yes? I know what I'm asking of you is unreasonable, but please, I want you to answer me. It doesn't matter how tiny it is. Do you remember anything? Anything that would prove your innocence? Why? Why would you go that far for me? I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm too scared to remember. Because... I might have done something even worse. If that were the case, I would only make things worse for you, Mr. Edgeworth. Kay Faraday must have been a despicable criminal. Someone who betrayed your trust. Don't worry. We've only known each other for a short while. But I know you very well. Oh. I'd even say that I know you better than yourself. Now that you've lost your memories. Oh. Holy shit. You cannot possibly be the true culprit. Or be the culprit, because your true identity is... the Yatagarasu badge Kay is always wearing. That's a massive chunk of health. You get 2 chances.
Take that.
The great thief Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu is a noble thief who would never stoop to murder. I wonder, will she start to remember? Oh. No, it's useless. After all... no matter what, that memory still remains. This image that's stuck in my head. I just can't get rid of it. That means I must have. There's no clear evidence to prove that you're the culprit, besides your own confession. Remember what I said. You must believe in yourself. Or perhaps, you cannot trust my words. No, that's not it. It's because you are trying to save someone like me. You've already lost so much. All for my sake. can't bear it anymore. Please. Please just give up. Oh no. I see now. I thought it was strange. The reason you were acting like you wanted to be found guilty was because you were concerned about me. That is just like you, Kay. It's because you're a good person, Mr. Edgeworth. Unfortunately, I may fall short of your expectations. I am not trying to be a good person. No matter how much you may want me to give up, I'll keep trying to save you. That is the nature of who I am. Whether or not it is a burden for you is none of my concern. Kay, believe in yourself once more. You are a noble great thief. What you should be doubting is your memory of committing the murder. That is my wish, above all else. Please. Oh god. Oh no. Oh god. Kay! Is she gonna have that scream animation again? What is it? Did you remember something? If she remembers something now, it'd be like a bad movie. Bull. Shit. Bull? Prosecutor Edgeworth. Please ask her to clarify. Well, okay. What do you mean by bull? I remember now. The person in the red raincoat had that with her. The stuffed bull doll. I'm certain of it. Is that true? Is that true, defendant? Yes, Your Honor. The court hereby accepts the defendant's statements as a new piece of testimony. Fucking Jesus. Quit messing around, Courtney. A testimony like that cannot be accepted, you know. Your objection has been noted, sir. However, testimony about the victim's belongings has been lacking up until now. Bloody hell. Nevertheless, you know, her vague memories cannot be trusted, you know. Her memories are vague? That would be bad for you or for us as well. Didn't you say this earlier yourself, Mr. Chairman? Since we have the suspect's confession, we don't need to worry about the trivial details. Is Courtney secretly trying to work with us? It seems that way. If we decide to doubt her memories, then we must also doubt her confession, which is the main foundation of our case. Are you willing to do that, sir? Ah, you're right. Well, never mind then. I shall leave it to you. Thank you very much. We did it. It was touch and go for a while there, though. However, those words of Judge Courtney just now, it almost feels as if she is on our side. That's what I'm thinking. Prosecutor Edgeworth, do you know anything about this stuffed animal? The stuffed animal Case spoke of must have been this. We found it in the storeroom. It is believed to be one of the items for the auction. Oh, look at it. I'll switch the screen. This is... Do you know something about it, Justine? No. It's just a bit different from what I imagined. Indeed. It's certainly not what I would have expected the victim to be carrying. Let's examine every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. I'm trying to think what would be suspicious. Oh! The hole? The left horn is missing. There's a hole in this stuffed animal. It seems this hole is where the horn is inserted into. I guess its head isn't stuffed with cotton. I wonder what's inside. Perhaps I should examine the other side. Oh, is that probably what I was meant to do? The right horn seems to be fine, but the entire balance feels a bit off. This horn, it looks like you can move it. What? Oh, god. A recording? What was that buzzing sound? It seems this toy is equipped with a recording device. And the... Ooh, I knew who you were right away. You can't hide that burn from me. Silence, huh? I've been waiting for my chance to get revenge all this time. Is this the moment of the murder? It is Blaze. I'm almost certain it's him. Who could have recorded something like this? Oh yeah. Records audio, someone talking to another person is recorded. One of them has a burn mark. The only reason I think it's Blaze at this point is because when it started playing back audio, his dialogue in specific popped up with a bunch of dots. So, as if to say, oh dear. This is... there ain't no doubt about it. This here was what I heard. We cannot verify when these voices were recorded. It's also possible that they aren't related to the case at all. If only we had some video as well. That's hogwash. I'm telling you, that's right. That right there was a conversation I heard. The victim was holding on to it, right? I reckon it must have been recorded when she got attacked. That certainly is a possibility. However, your testimony alone is insufficient. I require something with a little more credibility. Again, her words. It almost sounds as if she's trying to give me advice. Judge Courtney, there's no mistake that those voices were from the incident. Please recall the audio that was recorded by the stuffed animal. I knew who you were right away. You can't hide that burn from me. If we compare this part of the recording with a certain piece of evidence, we can prove it. This evidence shows that the recording took place during the moment of the crime. Something that shows off the body? Oh god, that was weird. Burn mark and victim. There we go, that'll work. Autopsy! The autopsy report? And exactly what part of the autopsy report shows that? Wait, this part shows that the recording took place during the moment of the crime. Burn mark? Oh, head... no. Burn mark on victim's hand. I suppose I just have to present... yeah, burn. Burn mark. That should work. I remember clearly what that voice said. You can't hide that burn from me. On the victim's hand, there was a burn mark. Indeed, it just happened to match up, you see. But what of it? According to case testimony, the victim had been holding the stuffed animal. And it just happened to record a characteristic of the victim, namely, the burn. That's just a coincidence. I mean, it could happen, right? I do not think so. It is hard to believe that all of this is simply a coincidence. The voices on the stuffed animal were most likely recorded during the incident. One of these voices must belong to the true culprit. From what I've heard, it must have been the one who was doing the most of the talking. But what's the point? In the end, we still can't tell their gender or identity, you know? Indeed, because they had been using voice changes. It can't be helped. It seems the situation has become quite clear. The conversation Miss Hart overheard was between the culprit and Miss Crane. That's what I've been telling you from the start. And from this, we will understand a new fact. Please enlighten us then. I trust you have no objections, Mr. Chairman? Do what you want. According to Miss Hart's testimony, just before the incident, two people came up from the auction hall, using the lift. It must have been the conductor and one of the auction guests. They probably went there to settle the payment after winning a bid. And then it was there that the crime was carried out. Since the auction continued after the crime took place, we are led to a single truth. This is the new fact that we have arrived at. The culprit is the conductor. Wait, the victim? No, culprit. Since the conductor was the only one who could keep the auction going, we can conclude that the deceased victim could not have been the conductor. Justine? Please be quiet here, okay? If the conductor was not the victim, then they must have been the culprit. Please wait. That alone is insufficient. Of course, even if I do not intend to rely only upon the process of elimination. Again, nothing but dots. Certain traces left at the crime scene led me to believe that the culprit is the conductor. Well then, please show it to us. What were the traces left at the crime scene that let me deduce the culprit is a conductor? The blood stain in the meeting room? To hide the fact the storeroom existed, maybe? The culprit purposely left a large amount of blood in the meeting room. In doing so, we were led to believe the meeting room had been the scene of the crime. It was a ruse by the true culprit, to hide the blood that had fallen from the storeroom, so we wouldn't find out about the existence of the black market auction, correct? Indeed. If the culprit had been unrelated to the auction, there would have been no need to do such a thing. Ergo, the culprit could have only been the conductor. Well then, do you have any idea as to who the conductor might possibly be? The auction hall is at the PIC meeting room, and furthermore, there is a storeroom above it. The conductor must have been, at the very least, a member of the PIC. Yep. So, in other words, you suspect me, I take it. Isn't it natural to suspect you, the one with the most authority in the PIC? Woo! You are quite capable. I'll give you that much, at least. But, you know, like I said before, you're far too naive. You have nothing, you know. There's no evidence that proves I am the culprit, you see? If by some chance you do have evidence, then why don't you present it? Do I have evidence that Blaze is the culprit? I don't. Blaze himself has suggested that he is the criminal. He's been showing that strange self-confidence for a while now. He knows that there is not a single piece of evidence left behind to incriminate him. If you play with fire, you're gonna get burned. Edgeworth. Just kidding. I always wanted to say that, you know. Well then, Courtney. Okay. I reckon I just remembered something too. Huh? You also lost your memories? No, that ain't it. Something just popped into my head right now. Very well, please tell us. Fucking Jesus. Connie, could you tell me what you are doing? Prosecutor Edgeworth? We'll not give up until we have destroyed every last possibility. I'm destroying every possibility, so that he will never oppose us again. Oh, she is clever. Justine? I don't really know what's going on, but well said. Pops, I'm gonna help too. After all, he's the one who's wrong. Fine then, let's hear what she has to say. Well then, Miss Hart, please proceed. Sure thing, just leave it to me. Please make sure you only tell the truth. Ain't that a matter of course? I'm a bona fide journalist of justice, you know. Somehow I feel uneasy. You're saying the culprit was a conductor, right? That means the victim was a customer. Now here's where it gets a mite strange. You see, there were 11 people at the auction. When the auction continued after the incident, I went straight on over and snuck a peek down below. You don't mean... That's exactly what I mean. All 11 people were still there, present and accounted for. Huh? Are you sure about that? Sure, I'm sure. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. So it started with 11 people, and there were still 11 people after the murder. Was it a ghost? You know, Sebastian, normally a prosecutor would call that a contradiction, you know? Were there really no changes in the auction at all? Really? I'm telling you. The auction just went on like normal. But there was one itty-bitty thing though. What was it? You know those hammers you always see at an auction? Like the one that lady is using over there? An auction gavel? Perhaps? Yep, that's the one. All of a sudden, I couldn't hear the sound no more. I'd been banging away just prior to it. The sound of the gavel. Does that have anything to do with the case? Okay, that's been updated. Interesting. If Miss Hart's testimony is the truth, then this matter has taken a grave turn. If the victim was neither the conductor nor a customer, then the very foundation of Prosecutor Edgeworth's reasoning would collapse. Oh no! Justice prevails, as they say. I hope you've learned your lesson, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, there really is nothing we can do. It's not over yet. Some mysteries still remain. I have to think. If I don't, then Kay will be... Did you get the answer you wanted this time? Well then, a deal's a deal. God, Courtney just keeps on butting in. Please wait, Mr. Chairman. I believe it's still too early to make a judgment. There are still a few mysteries left in the case. Until we have solved all of them, or solved them all, we cannot call this a complete victory. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Edgeworth? I was expecting you to shout. Hold it! Like you always do. Yes, of course. Once again, Judge Courtney has come to my aid. She must know the suspect. Not the suspect, the actual murderer. And is helping us slyly to kind of bring them to justice. Well then, what is it? What sort of mysteries are left? Well, of course, there's the contradiction in the autopsy report. That kind of thing. I've brought her in. Hey, it's these two. What's wrong? Why were we suddenly called here? Did someone suddenly get sick? I'll begin preparing a compress. Stat. Ouch. What you call me here for? Did something happen? Dr. Young, Miss Jensen, you have my gratitude for taking the trouble to come here. This won't take long, so please relax. Tell me what in blazes is going on. Of course, we called you here because something came up. Judge Courtney, just what are you planning? Bonnie Young, under the divine rule of law, please answer truthfully. There were no mistakes in your autopsy report, correct? Granny would never make a mistake. That's certainly strange. Huh? What's strange? This court has found an error in Dr. Young's autopsy report. Dr. Young, please tell the truth. Did you falsify the autopsy report? That's terrible. How can you accuse her of that? I have no idea what you are talking about. Why would I do such a thing in the first place? To protect the true culprit, of course. What you talking about, Willis? I would never do such a thing. How strange. In that case, why would there be an error in the autopsy report, I wonder? Prosecutor Edgeworth? What do you think? Oh, I expected you to press into her statement like you normally do. Why is she taking control of the situation and trying to help me? I don't know what her goal is, but I must play along. If the autopsy report you gave to Sebastian had been authentic, then the error should not have been there. Wait a minute, I didn't do anything. That is what we will figure out from this point on. Firstly, Dr. Young, I'd like to hear your testimony. Why do you want to hear her testimony? It'd be pointless. I'll be the one who decides whether or not it is pointless, not you. There are patients waiting for us. But, Granny, ouch. Anyways, we don't have time for this. Is there any way I could convince you? This is of the utmost importance. Mr. Miles Edgeworth, Granny says she'll testify. So please, try to finish this quickly. If we don't return soon, there will be people in terrible suffering. And yet, you were lollygagging about on the viewing platform earlier. I promise you, this won't take long. Only if she tells me the truth, of course. Oh boy. Ba-da-da. So, error in the autopsy report. There are no mistakes in Granny's autopsy report. I've been working with corpses longer than you've been alive. There's no way I'd make a mistake in writing the autopsy report. Ouch. I got nothing to gain from falsifying the autopsy report. Is what she says. See? There's nothing strange at all. Yes, that's right. You know, there's no way she would falsify it. You see? Under the name of the goddess of law, You swear that this testimony is the truth? Of course. Granny would never tell a lie. We were asking Dr. Young. We do not need to hear from a third party. I'm not a third party. I'm on Granny's side. Aha! If you raise an objection to my testimony, you'd best prepare yourself, you ex-prosecutor. We'll definitely expose a contradiction in the autopsy report. Oh boy. Right, time to press everything. I really wish this would work. Hold it. I'm just trying to think what it would actually be. Hold it. No, I have no idea. So you're saying there was no way Dr. Young could have made a mistake? Of course. Doctors can't afford to make mistakes. This is a world where just one misdiagnosis can end a long career. I know that my granny, at least, would never. If I did something like that, you'd think they'd still let me run a hospital? I mean, it is called the Die Young. Yeah. So in your long career, you've never once made a mistake? A doctor's only as good as the length of their track record. If we're just talking about a lengthy track record, that former chief prosecutor has one too. And yet, his actual abilities don't seem to measure up. Hope that you're not the same as well. Ouch. That's a low blow, you know. But you know, Edgeworth, I don't make mistakes either, you see. Because you see, before I can make a mistake, those around me will have already made it instead. You see, I don't have time for mistakes. It's quite amazing, you know. It must be karma. You can't compare a chief prosecutor with the doctor. You really can't. There's no way I'd make a mistake in writing the autopsy report. Ouch. The victim wore this raincoat after suffering a blow to the head. And yet, there was not a single drop of blood on the front of the raincoat. Therefore, it is impossible for the head wound to have been post-mortem. Well, that's... ouch. I don't need you to tell me that. That's what I wrote down from the very beginning. The autopsy report says the head wound was post-mortem. That's completely different. Yeah. I relayed to Karen what to put down in the autopsy report. After that, it was under my beeswax. Relayed to Karen. Please elaborate on that. Okay, so if I present the autopsy report here, is Karen going to admit to her error? Dr. Young, please confirm what this autopsy report says with your own eyes. I'll read it out for you. Ouch. Oh, she's sweating. No, she smacked her again. This autopsy report wasn't written by me. What? What do you mean? Consider she keeps smacking her. I don't know. God, I love these two. But Granny, I can't say that. Huh. Interesting. Miss Jensen, if you are trying to keep the truth in the dark, then... in place of the goddess of law, I shall hear your confession. Judge Courtney is talking with Dr. Young in private. What? Is that true? Oh. Understood. I shall convey your words to everyone else, Dr. Young. I probably relayed the autopsy report orally to that child. It seems my granddaughter must have mucked it up when she was writing it down. So she hid the truth. Interesting. Wow. She mimicked her voice perfectly. There was no need for her to go that far, though. In other words, the contents of the autopsy report had been falsified. By your hand, Miss Jensen. Ooh, With that, we've proven that the wound on the head came first, followed by her chest wound. Miss Jensen, why did you falsify the autopsy report? Hold on a second. She never said she falsified it, you know? She just made a teeny tiny mistake when she wrote it down. Post-mortem and anti-mortem sound kinda similar, you know? They are completely opposites. That is the very definition of falsification. Miss Jensen, why would you lie? Kay, ouch. I want you to tell me too. Why would you do something like that? Granny, but Because you falsified the autopsy report, Kay fell under suspicion. Tell me why you did it. I can't say. I just can't say it. Not I don't want to say, but I can't say. You're all a bunch of bullies, you know? Ganging up on this poor girl who loves her grandmother so. She's totally unrelated to this. I think we can forgive her for one tiny mistake. Yeah, I don't think so. That won't do. Aren't you the one with the most to lose if she testifies? What are you saying? You see, as a former prosecutor, you'll have to speak a little more clearly, you know? Very well, as you wish. I shall answer clearly. Miss Jensen played an essential role in this case. She was an accomplice. Miss Jensen falsified the autopsy report in order to assist the true culprit. Ouch. This girl is an accomplice? What's your basis for that claim? It was impossible for a single person to commit this crime in the first place. The crime could not have been committed without at least 2 people, namely because... she was the other person! The number of people wouldn't match. If the conductor was the culprit, and one of the auction guests was the victim, it would contradict the witness's testimony that there were 11 people after the incident. What now? You got a problem with my testimony? Not at all. Rather, it's because I believe your testimony, that's why an accomplice must exist. So, you still won't admit that your reasoning is wrong? Up until now, we had not even considered the possibility of an accomplice. However, if there had been an accomplice, it changes the entire story completely. If the accomplice took the murdered auction guest's place, then the number of people remains 11. Ooh, I see now. So that's what you're thinking. But you know, wouldn't that have been quickly discovered? Miss Jensen and the victim have similar physiques. If she wore the victim's mask, she could have easily taken her place. Miss Jensen, did you switch places with the victim? I wouldn't. Who was the conductor? In other words, tell me who was the true culprit. I can't. I mean, that would also cause trouble for Granny. Ouch. But Granny... I will accept whatever wrongs you may have done. Just tell me everything. Jesus Christ. Oh, her hair popped. Oh, that was good. As I thought, it appears you really were the accomplice. Why? Miss Jensen, would you please tell us? Yes. It's okay, Granny. I'm fine now. I switched places with the victim, Miss Crane. So, you admit to being the conductor's accomplice? Yes. I helped out the conductor. I don't really know why, but for some reason... The conductor was expecting to be attacked by Miss Crane. The conductor expected an attack from the victim. They were so sure it was going to happen that they came up with a plan to counter it. A way to beat the victim at her own game, and that's when I was called in. I was told to wait in the storeroom before the auction began. Whoa there, you ain't fooling my eyes. If you were waiting in the storeroom, I reckon I would have bumped into you. After all, I'd been up in that storeroom the entire auction. I'm telling the truth. I wonder about that, you know. Can we really believe a girl who would falsify a report? I think she's telling the truth. There should have been many places to hide in that storeroom. Then by all means, tell me, where did our little nurse hide? The place in the storeroom where Miss Jensen hid was the trunk, where the body was hidden too. She hid inside the costume trunk. A costume trunk, eh? Now that you mention it, that box was already there before I snuck in. I figured I would hide in there myself, but it was wrapped up nice and tight with a chain. It was locked too, so I had to give it up. I suspect that when you sneaked into the room, Miss Jensen was already inside the trunk. Yes, it would have been bad if one of the guests from the auction had opened the lid. After instructing me to hide inside, The conductor wrapped a chain around the costume trunk. I think they went downstairs using the lift shortly thereafter. It was right before the auction. So then, when the auction began, only you and Miss Hart were in the storeroom. Yes, that should be right. The auction had been going on as usual, but when a certain participant made the winning bid, the conductor committed the crime. Miss Hart must have heard the altercation that occurred then. You betcha. I was trailing behind that there statue the whole time, though. Following the altercation, Jill Crane was murdered. After killing Jill Crane, the conductor carried her body to the costume trunk. And Miss Jensen, who had been hiding in the trunk, was made to take Miss Crane's place. The victim's body was placed inside the costume trunk. The conductor then took Miss Jensen, who had been made to look like Jill Crane, went back down, and returned to the auction hall as if nothing had happened. Ah, the old switcheroo. Was this roughly what happened in the storeroom during the incident? Yes, that's right. Pulling the old switcheroo with one of the auction guests. Ain't that impossible? That girl and the murder victim are two completely different people, you know? Don't you reckon one of the other participants would have noticed and caused a ruckus, not because of the mask and voice changes? No, not at all. The reason they didn't notice the switch was because... Oh, there. She stole the victim's clothes. From what I can tell, Miss Jensen and the victim appear to have a similar physique. Furthermore, there was a rule requiring a mask to be worn during the auction. If the clothes were the same, I doubt anyone would have noticed she was a different person. Yes, I blended right in. I borrowed Miss Crane's clothes and... Ouch! You mustn't embarrass the dead like that. I know. I also thought it was pretty heartless to leave her exposed like that. So when the conductor wasn't looking, I covered her up in a raincoat that was up for auction. So she was the one who put the red raincoat on the victim. And then the auction resumed as if nothing had happened. I reckon I took the picture of her in the red raincoat after that. That'd make all the facts line up. After I took the photo, I went over to the lift to sneak a peek down below. I witnessed the 11 participants, and then I hightailed it back to behind the statue. Bum bum bum. Don't tell me, you were hiding there the entire time until we found you. Nah, that's... how should I put it? What is it? Did something happen? I didn't mention it before, but after that I might have dozed off a little. To be more precise, I fainted? Well, something like that. So, something did happen. It ain't no big deal. Kinda embarrassing to say though. There was this huge thump sound all of a sudden. I was a little surprised by that. It was right after I had just witnessed a murder, so I was shaking in my boots. My heart sort of tightened up, so I was off to La La Land. When I woke up, it was already the next day, around the time you came by the storeroom. I see, so there was a live sound. Miss Hart, I take it you do not know what transpired in the storeroom beyond this point. I guess. But after the auction, all the masks were properly returned. I reckon the participants had exited the storeroom, just like I done said. Miss Jensen, what were your actions after the auction resumed? I took the victim's place and participated in the auction. The conductor instructed me to win the bid for the costume trunk, because the body was inside it. It would have been bad if another auction guest had won the bid for it. You didn't realise the box was empty? No, we only found out when I came up to the storeroom to pay the bill. The conductor was with me... Oh, pardon me. And told me to go search for her immediately. And then, I found another girl collapse in front of the ladder. That'd be Kay. Kay. Yeah, she probably fell down from the roof and lost consciousness, as well as her memories. Maybe the victim left the hatch open when she went up to the rooftop. I understand now. Kay was surprised at seeing the collapsed victim and did not notice the open hatch. She must have missed her footing and fell down into the storeroom. Miss Hart, I have determined the sound that made you faint. It was likely the sound of Kay falling onto the storeroom floor. That might have been it, though I reckon it'd be kind of pathetic to faint over something like that. Miss Jensen found the unconscious Care. Miss Hart was also unconscious behind the statue. The situation is becoming clearer to me. Miss Jensen, please continue your story. After I found Kay and the victim, I put them both in the trunk. If the customers at the auction found out, there would have been a huge commotion. Was this an order from the conductor as well? Yes, it was. But since I secretly decided to put the raincoat on Miss Crane, I had to dispose of the raincoat without the conductor noticing. Huh. So the conductor didn't anticipate the raincoat becoming another piece of evidence. And finally, we dressed Miss Crane in a spare conductor's outfit. I see, in doing so, you made the victim appear as if she was the conductor. In the end, the auction ended without anyone noticing anything. Miss Jensen, your crimes have become clear. If you know anything else, please hold nothing back. I want to help you more, but that is all I know. If I had to say, there is just one thing that bothers me. When I took Miss Crane's place, I borrowed her clothes. But there was no way for me to borrow her hair. Ouch. What kind of coroner's assistant goes around stealing a corpse's hair? I would think that robbing the deceased of their clothes would be questionable enough. Both the colour and the length of our hair is different, so I was worried about how to disguise it. However, the conductor even had a wig prepared for me. In fact, he had two of them. Inside the costume trunk there was both a straight wig and a wavy wig. 2 wigs. Why were there 2? Who knows? Maybe it was a precaution, in case the victim had changed her hairstyle. I ended up using the straight wig to match Miss Crane's hair. So that means the wavy wig was left unused. Right, okay. Karen's testimony on when she switched places with the victim. Cool. Is that really all you know? Yes. Yep, that's really all I know. So that means you don't know who the conductor is. I'm sorry, I only knew that person as the auction conductor. I never saw the person without a mask on. The conductor seemed to be on guard towards everybody. At this rate... Edgeworth, is that all you've got? Even if that little nurse is an accomplice, it changes absolutely nothing, you know? In the end, the true culprit is still Kay Faraday. All you did was add another criminal, you know? The rule of law cannot be overturned, at least not for your sake. Is this as far as I go? Am I unable to save Kay? Franziska! Yeah! Nice. Franziska, why are you here? Didn't I tell you, Miles Edgeworth? Wherever there is a case, I will follow. Prosecutor von Karma, your hard work is most appreciated. However, don't get the wrong idea, I only came here to find out the truth behind what's happening to Kay Faraday. Or behind what happened. I don't plan on forgiving you for abandoning the prosecutor's path. Hey, name of the game. I understand. You should thank your former subordinate. He gave me some valuable information, which may save Kay Faraday. Detective Gumshoe did? Listen well, Miles Edgeworth. This will be the final piece of evidence. Jill Crane suffered the wound on her head first. Oh. We know that. Well, someone say something. Well, I hate to say it, but we already proved that. Already proved? Yes, well, just a few minutes ago. You should have told me sooner. You're the one who barged in here and started talking. Well then, does that mean you found out what the murder weapon was already? No, not yet. Is that so? In that case, listen up. The victim was struck on the head with a blunt, cylindrical object. Oh. The wound on her head was suffered post-mortem. On her chest, not head. A cylindrical murder weapon. You know, this report of yours, I trust it's accurate, of course. These were the results of 2 independent autopsies, carried out by 2 respected doctors. That's reassuring, but it's too bad. You have no right to investigate this Interpol is after the black market auctions, and I'm the prosecutor in charge of the investigation. The victim participated in the auction. Therefore, it is only natural for me to investigate. Get on, bitch. Oh shit, something she'd been murdered. Whatever, I didn't get to read it. I see, I see. Clever. Clever girl, little Von Karma. Ah. Then it has been settled. The victim died from blunt force trauma to the head. Cause of death, blunt force trauma to the head. Chest wound was post-mortem. There we go. Unfortunately, the murder weapon has yet to be found. Huh. Just knowing the shape of the murder weapon. Oops. I should probably read that again because I had the mic kind of away from my mouth. Just knowing the shape of the murder weapon gives me an idea as to what it might be. Hey, in my investigation we didn't find any other murder weapons, you know. If you consider the conductor's possessions at the crime scene, the answer should be clear. The blunt cylindrical object used in the auction hall was... Oh, an auction gavel. I nearly said a judge's. It was something the conductor had in their hand during the auction. Namely, an auction gavel. An auction gavel? We didn't find anything like that. If the culprit is the conductor, it is possible that the gavel may be the murder weapon. However, that alone is not reason enough, wouldn't you agree? Of course, I have proof to back it up. This piece of evidence proves that the murder weapon is the auction gavel. Lauder's testimony. According to Miss Hart's testimony, after the victim had been murdered, it seems she suddenly stopped hearing the sound of the gavel during the auction. However, she had been able to hear it up until then. Why was that, you ask? It was because it had been used as the murder weapon, and was covered in the victim's blood. It became necessary to dispose of it, isn't that right? Blaze the best. I'll have a search for the murder weapon performed immediately. Well, good luck with that, you know. You gotta work as hard as you can while you're young, you see. He's completely confident that we won't find it. Did he burn it? Well then, while the search for the murder weapon continues, I hereby call for a brief recess. Oh my god, that took forever. Fucking Jesus, that was like 2 fucking hours! Like 2 fucking hours! I'm completing this case, I don't care how long it takes. I really can't imagine it taking too much longer, but still. Fuck me, 2 fucking hours! 2 hours! Oh, god, right, okay, yeah. Jesus. That was such a long part. It was probably more like an hour and 40 minutes, but even still, that was ridiculous. Whew. PIC meeting room. Opened... or order in the court. Opened in the court. What am I on about? Prosecutor Von Karma, your report, please. I have bad news. We've searched every inch of the Grand Tower, but the auction gavel was nowhere to be found. Oh. That is most unfortunate. It seems I am left with no choice but to pronounce a verdict. Well, it sure seems that way, you know. Normally, you wouldn't commit a blunder like leaving behind the murder weapon, you know. The best criminals would never do something like that, you see? Ugh. I don't have enough information. Is this as far as I can go? Yes, it's a shame, you know, but it can't be helped, you see? This takes me back, you know. All those defendants who came to me asking for a plea bargain. They trusted me, you know? Told me every one of their dirty little secrets, you see? And when it came time for the trial, I'd get them sentenced to life in prison. They were all completely dumbstruck, you know? Each and every one of them. Oh, how I wish you all could have seen it, you know? The stupid look on their faces. God, what a dick. I shall hereby announce my verdict. Please humbly accept the words of the law. There's nothing more I can do. With this, both Kay and I are... If only we had some evidence. I never thought that I would be passing judgment on you like this. Is this the end? The defendant, Blaze the Best. I hereby indict you. What? What? Oh! What's going into you all of a sudden? I have here documents regarding a certain case. The IS-7 incident. A case that happened 18 years ago. Documents, you say? Why would you suddenly... Wait, you don't mean... On the day of the crime, the record of your keycard being used was because... I came to this room to fetch these documents, of course. Although, when I entered the meeting room, it seems it was before the black market auction had begun. At first I told you that I came to gather in documents about you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. At that time, I simply could not tell you the truth. Oh, shit! Wait, the IS-7 incident? I don't remember that. What are you doing, Justine? Why are you indicting Pops? Because he's the culprit. I just want to see what the IS-7 incident is. I don't remember. Wait. Oh, it's that! Wait, why is that? I don't get it. Oh no, it can't be. The only thing I was thinking is that I saw there are no clues to the whereabouts of Dover's son. Dover or Gustavia, actually. Did the best give himself a new name? Oh. Interesting. It is interesting. Okay. Alright, so the IS-7 incident is last case, essentially. Okay. Without any basis. This is slander. That was a wonderful remark, Sebastian. Huh? Really? Of course there is a basis. During the case 18 years ago, Prosecutor Manfred von Karma fabricated information regarding the body. That was because the body of the sculptor, Isaac Dover, had been stolen. Papa fabricated information about a body? What do you mean? Detective Lacer, who handled the initial investigation, reported that the body had gone missing. However, in order to deceive the prosecutor von Karma, there is a person who purposely did not report to him that the body had disappeared. What? What did you say? That person would not forgive those who defied him, nor would he allow others to hold power. He would use any means necessary in order to bend others to his will. And then, also 18 years ago, Director Young was ordered by a certain individual to write a fake autopsy report. Oh. Dr. Young was the one who wrote the autopsy report for the IS-7 incident? Fucking, what the heck is happening? It's all tying together. Please wait, Granny didn't do anything wrong. She was ordered by that person. She had no choice but to obey. That person? That person was the chief prosecutor at the time. That's... okay, of course, I forgot about him. For some reason I thought it was his son. I'm an idiot. Yes, he was the chief prosecutor. That didn't even occur to me. Because wasn't Von Karma and the chief prosecutor in cahoots? Sort of. The chief prosecutor 18 years ago. You don't mean... the chief prosecutor who gave Papa his first penalty. Oh. The best. It was none other than you, Blaze the Best. Okay. God, I feel like a fucking idiot. He's Dover's son! I don't know why the fuck I thought that. Ah, God. Even if he was Dover's son, that wouldn't make him this... like, Blaze is probably in his 50s, so there's no way that would even work. I was just talking out my ass. What are you saying? Potts would never do something like that. Oh man, she's on our side now. Sebastian, we do not need your opinion right now. Blaze the Best, do you have a rebuttal? Fabricating stuff about the body Von Karma. Oh, about the body, Von Karma did all that on his own, you know? Falsifying the autopsy report. Young, you would actually do something like that? Man, you really did some terrible things behind my back, you know? Seeing as how all the parties concerned are here today, we should ask them directly. Please wait. Granny is... ouch. Granny, I'm sorry, I knew. I knew, that's why I... Yep, because if I didn't... He said he would expose you. If I didn't assist in the crime, Granny would be prosecuted. That's what that man said. The conductor. Told me. In which case we now know who the conductor is. So, Miss Jensen, was being threatened... Was the conductor who threatened you Blaze the Best? That... I don't know. The person who threatened me was the auction conductor. They do have similar physiques, but I never saw the person's face. Any trivial thing is fine. Give us a characteristic that could be a clue. That's right. The conductor's mask. It exposed just a tiny part of his face. There was a tattoo there, I'm sure of it. The conductor wore a white jacket with a purple flower, white gloves, and a mask, had a facial tattoo. That's not Blaze. A tattoo, you say? I really have no idea what you're talking about, you know? As you can see, there are clearly no tattoos on my face, you see? So that person doesn't match me at all, you know? The person who threatened her, this so-called conductor, I wonder who it is, you know? I think we know it's him, regardless. You've incurred the wrath of the Goddess of Law. I suggest you watch what you say. Hasn't he incurred your own wrath rather than the wrath of the Goddess of Law? Oh, the wrath of the Goddess. Jewel Crane had been pursuing you, just as I have. And I will not let her death be in vain. Crane was... you know. You say she was pursuing me? My, I didn't really know her that well, you know? I don't mind girls chasing after me, you know? But I don't recall her ever falling for me, you see? Ah, dear. You didn't know the victim well. That is a testimony we haven't heard up until now. Before the eyes of the Goddess of Law, you shall give us an official testimony. I see. Everyone is bullying me. If you're gonna go that far, that's fine. That's fine, you see? I'll just have to make you disappear. Every last one of you. Prosecutor Edgeworth, I shall cooperate with you as well. Nice. If we let this opportunity slip by, I doubt we will ever get him to stand in court again. Please, do not let this chance go to waste. Yes. Let's do this. I promise I will live up to your expectations. Oh man, so this was just her way of getting to Blaze, essentially. Now then, Blaze the Best, you shall testify regarding the victim. Regarding Jill Crane. The victim, Jill Crane, was a member of the Prosecutorial Investigation Committee, you see? Personally, I didn't really know her that well, you know? Either way, it's not like I had a motive to murder her, you know? I have no idea why she was pursuing me, you see? Well, that was a short testimony. You intend to deny your guilt until the bitter end, don't you? Of course he does. There's no way Pops could be the criminal. I mean, he's my Pops, you know? He's the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is his real test, to train them is his cause. Sorry, wrong game. Yes, Sebastian, if you're gonna stick up for me, be sure to have a clear basis, you know? Alright, I got it. I'll clear you of these false accusations, Pops. I believe in you, Pops. We won't lose to someone like Mr. Edgeworth. Yes. You really are pure, you know? That person, he really loves his father, doesn't he? However, one must be able to accept the mistakes of their father. She speaks from experience. No matter how much they may look up to him. Oh, look at that! Each person must atone for their crimes, no matter who they are. This is going to be hard for Sebastian, but I simply cannot overlook his father's crimes. Oh, you bloody shouldn't. Regarding Jill Crane... Alright, just press everything. Bum 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 bum. Need a drink. Although this is not helping, because I really need the toilet. But I want to finish this case. I just have to grin and bear it. If she was a member of the PIC, then you should have been familiar with her. Well, I knew her face, but that's about it, you know? It's not like we met each other on a regular basis, you see. Personally, I didn't really know her that well, you know? So you're saying you weren't very familiar with the victim? That's right. I didn't even know about the burn mark on Crane's hand, you see? You didn't know about the burn mark? Well, you see, even if I had gotten close to her, she would have disappeared soon. It's a pain to remember someone, you know? When they're just gonna disappear, you see? In other words, anyone who defies him disappears. I would like you to add your statement about the victim's burn to your testimony. And I just learned that she had a burn mark on her hand. Alright. So you're saying that you didn't know about the victim's burn? Is that really the truth? You really are persistent, you know? Do you really think I would pay attention to every little wound on a woman's hand? I would think the burn mark on the victim's hand would be hard to miss. Now that you mention it, Jill Crane would regularly wear gloves. I too did not know about the burn until the incident occurred. Jill Crane regularly wore gloves. Oh! I thought so. She was probably trying to hide the burn mark, you see. I understand how sensitive a woman can be about these things, you know. I would like you to add your so-called sensitive understanding of a woman to your testimony. Maybe she was always wearing gloves in order to hide the burn mark, you know? But if you didn't know she had a burn mark, then why does this stuffed toy clearly say that she does? Oh, I don't want to listen to it again. I was hoping it would just give me like a transcript, even. Yeah, because in the recording it's that you can't hide that burn mark from me. Jill Crane regularly wore gloves. If that is true, then it creates a huge contradiction. Oh, a huge contradiction, you say? I would like you to listen to the voices recorded on this stuffed animal one more time. God, do we have to... Buzz, and that... I knew who you were right away. You can't hide that burn from me. Silence, huh? I've been waiting for my chance to get revenge all this time. There we go. We were under the impression that this was the moment the victim was murdered. I knew who you were right away. You can't hide that burn from me. We thought that this statement was said by the culprit. Isn't that fine? What's the problem, you know? There's a huge problem with that. If the victim had been wearing gloves from the start, it would have been impossible to see the burn on her hand. Gloves come off very easily, you know? She could have taken them off during the auction. Who got the face Edgeworth had? That looked really weird. That's... Courtney? Oh, that's not true. Miss Crane had been wearing her gloves when I took her place. She must have been wearing them before she was murdered. What are you saying? Don't you understand the position you're in? I'm not scared anymore. I have Granny here with me. Blaze, your day of reckoning has finally come. So it is him. I mean, I kind of gathered. Somehow, it seems like you all want to disappear. Permanently. The only one who will be disappearing here is you, Blaze the Best. Oh, fuck off, Sebastian. Hey, how dare you say that to Pops? Does it really matter if the burn mark was visible or not? It certainly does matter. If the burn mark was visible, then we'd have a complete turnabout of the situation. What are you saying? If the victim's burn mark wasn't visible, what exactly does that tell you? There weren't any burn marks, the victim didn't have a burn mark, the culprit also had a burn mark. Sebastian, turn your way of thinking around. If the victim was wearing gloves, then her burn mark could not have been seen. In that case, whose burn mark was seen? Oh. So the red is actually the victim talking and the green is the culprit. Okay, that's actually a really clever way of doing it. Because you're so used to red being kind of the way to determine the culprit. So that's a quite a good way of turning it on its head. Someone else's burn mark? Precisely. The culprit must have had a burn mark as well. In other words, I knew who you were right away. You can't hide that burn from me. The person who said this was not the culprit, but the victim. What? Of course. Sebastian, could you please step aside? Edgeworth, all your reasoning up until now was just a figment of your imagination. You know? The culprit had a burn mark. Where is it, you know? If you can't answer that, then your logic doesn't hold up, you know? Where was the culprit's burn mark? I wonder where the burn mark could have been. During the auction, wasn't everyone wearing a disguise? Indeed. During the auction, everyone should have been dressed in a particular way. If the burn mark was still visible under those conditions, then... No, why don't you show us? Where was the culprit's burn? You'll have to show me the proof, you see. Go with the conductor's clothes, because that would be concealing everything. It was what the conductor was wearing during the auction. In other words, the outfit you were wearing at the time. What can you figure out from the clothes alone? The conductor had been wearing a white suit, white gloves, and a mask. His attire had covered up most of his skin. However, according to Miss Jensen's testimony, the conductor's mask exposed a small part of his face. In addition, while she thought there had been a tattoo there, it's possible that she simply mistook the burn mark for a tattoo. A burn mark on his face? That's all very... scintillating. Whatever, but I'm afraid you're getting excited over nothing, you know? None of the PIC members have any burn marks on their faces, you see. Naturally, that includes me as well, you know? Huh? But Pops? But... Sebastian? Could you please be quiet? If you're an idiot, then act like one, you know? He does have a burn mark. What, is it hidden like under his... No, it won't be under his beard, it's probably why he's wearing the goggles. Normally Sebastian is a nuisance to everyone around him. But this time, I owe him my gratitude. That reaction from Blaze's own son. It reveals the truth more clearly than anything else. Thanks to him, I am confident that my reasoning is correct. I know who that unidentified piece of evidence belongs to. I wonder what's wrong with that prosecutor. Usually, Sebastian is slower to arrive at the truth than anyone else. However, this time, he has probably figured it out. His own father is a criminal. Since he knows the truth, he's in pain, isn't he? If he didn't know the truth, he could have remained blissful in his ignorance. Okay, we are here in order to pursue the truth. It doesn't matter what path my reasoning takes, the important thing is to arrive at the truth. Once before, when I lost faith in my reasoning, you said that to me and showed me the way. This time I shall show you the truth. You are innocent. I also want to know the truth. Mr. Edgeworth, please tell me. Yes, that's the spirit. That's impossible, you know, for all of you. I mean, just where could I possibly have a burn mark? It's nowhere to be found. You see, there's no evidence to prove that I'm the culprit, you know? That's right, there's no contradiction at all. There's no way there can be a contradiction, not for my Pops. Sebastian, I understand why you don't want to admit it. However, if you avert your eyes from the truth, you will regret it forever. Pops, just what should I do? I really wonder why you're such an idiot, you know? Sebastian, if you really want to save me, you'll have to try a little bit harder, you see? Gotta use your head, you know? Honestly, you really are a useless idiot. No way. But I tried real hard. I tried my best, Pops. I went to the school you told me to go to, reached the top of my class just like you told me to. Just look at this jacket. Only someone who graduates at the top of his class gets to wear it. I did everything you told me to do. That's how I got to be the best at the academy. Even won all those awards. Just so I could be like you, Pops. You really are such an idiot, you know? Oh, I feel really bad for Sebastian. You know those gold stars you got on your tests? I made the teachers give them to you. Every speech and debate contest, all of the judges were my friends. You know, Sebastian, if you weren't even able to notice something like that, you're really not worthy of being called my son, don't you think? Wow. Holy fuck. That's pretty fucking awful. Oh my god. Jesus. Oh, even my son has disappeared. Oh my. It's enough to make me cry, you know? He was trying his best for me and yet he was totally useless, you know? You are truly a despicable person. As the chairman of the PIC and as a father. Even I feel sorry for that foolish prosecutor. Poor Mr. Prosecutor. Jesus. Mr. Best, just what do you think of your own son? He's just a useless pawn, you see. Whoa now. Maybe you should look in the mirror before you criticize me, you know? I mean, even you. You also used Sebastian to get close to me, didn't you? I cannot deny that. However, he is not a mere pawn. He always tries to do his very best, even if the results aren't up to par. I've seen just how hard he tries, and yet you refuse to even acknowledge it. Kashira, see you next Tuesday. That kid is no good, you see, no matter what he does, or is told to do. Prosecutor Edgeworth, I shall leave this offering to you. To the Goddess of Law, my god. Deliver her divine judgment against Blaze the Best. Yes, that was my intention. From the beginning. If there was a burn mark on the conductor's face, then Blaze the Best must be hiding it. What was he wearing during the auction? That is the key to revealing the truth. Well then, allow me to hear your answer. Please show the piece of evidence that proves the culprit had a burn mark on his face. It's a testimony. Karen's? Just double check. Ah, the wavy wig. Of course. Yeah, the wavy wig. That's what he's using. If you would recall Miss Jensen's testimony, there's still one point that remains unexplained. 2 types of wigs had been prepared, one of which was left unused. Do you mean the wavy wig? What are you talking about? It was something Miss Jensen found when she switched places with the victim. What does something like that have to do with the burn? Inside the costume trunk, Miss Jensen witnessed 2 wigs. One of them had been used by Miss Jensen to make her look like the victim. Now then, just what was the other wig used for? It doesn't seem like it was a spare wig. There's no need to overthink it. Just compare the attire of the true culprit, the conductor, with that of Blaze the Best. Don't stare at me like that. Don't you think there's just one spot where there is a huge contradiction? Specifically around his face. So that's not a wig at all. Indeed, it was no wig. Oh! Blaze the Best, it was your fake beard. Oh! This is a real beard, you know? Don't tease me like that, Edgeworth. I didn't even think it was the beard. I was gonna say that at first, but I was like, no, it can't be. Your son must have realised the truth before anyone else. That's why he was trying so desperately to protect you. You were also worried that he would tell the truth. Isn't that why you drove your son away from there? Or from here? Because he knew that his father was hiding a burn under his fake beard. Blaze the Best. How about you remove that fake beard of yours? Is it gonna burn away? Yeah! It burns it, but oh, bloody hell. Oh! God, he looks so weird. He's super muscular too. So it's on his chin. A burn mark. Prosecutor Edgeworth? Well done. Justice has been served before the Goddess of Law. For that, I give you my thanks. I should be the one thanking you. Blaze the Best, I hereby announce my verdict. Guilty. You shall be taken into custody for the murder of Jill Crane. Oh! Do I get my badge back? Bloody better. Whew. Not bad. Took a really long time, though. Mr. Edgeworth, thank you very much. I'm so happy that you believed in me to the very end. There's no need to thank me. As a prosecutor? No, as a friend. I simply wanted to save you. Prosecutor Edgeworth, I bring good tidings. It seems that former Chairman DeBest has been safely detained in the detention center. However, the search for the murder weapon, the auction gavel, continues. Blaise DeBest is a shrewd man. There is a good chance that he already disposed of it. There is also one piece of testimony that concerns me. Blaise DeBest mentioned that the only thing he did not fake were the letters. What do you mean? To Miss Crane, thank you so much for helping me with my plan. I know that we can help each other get what we want. It's like killing two birds with one stone. First, he found this letter in Jill Crane's clothes. Dear Kay, I promise you will get it back for you, your most precious memory. Then he also found this letter on Kay, who was unconscious in the storeroom. The contents of the letter seem to suggest that the two had been corresponding with each other. Which is why Blaise DeBest assumed that the two were working together. Ridiculous, that can't be right. After reading the two letters, he decided to pin the crime on Kay Faraday. In order to cast suspicion on her, he planted one of the letters in a noticeable spot. The deceased Jill Crane's left breast pocket. Isn't that just an excuse? Yes, that is what I thought as well. It may have simply been a last-ditch effort to save himself. However, before the stern eyes of the Goddess of Law, these are all trivial matters. His crime shall certainly not go unpunished. Of that I assure you. With this, I have finally fulfilled one of my long-standing missions. Judge Courtney, will you tell me what you know? Why did Blaise DeBest murder Jill Crane? What lies hidden behind this case? Yes, I don't mind. You have the right to know everything. Long ago, Jill Crane was in love with a cameraman. That man was pursuing the black market auction as a journalist. And then, before he could reach the truth, he was erased. The feelings in the items Miss Crane inherited from her beloved brought her to the auction. She had come to exact revenge on the conductor, Blaise. Although in the end, she was the one who was murdered instead. I see, so that's what happened. While the Goddess of Law cannot condone her actions, we have succeeded in her goal of bringing Blaise DeBest crimes to light. So, Judge Courtney's goals was to expose Blaise DeBest and reveal the dark secrets of the PIC. By the way, what happened to the young prosecutor? We've been unable to contact him for some time now. Do you have any idea where he might be? I had not been truly working for him, so... I see. I feel very sorry for him. What you should be sorry for is the fact that he was kept in the dark until now. No matter how cruel reality is, he will have to accept it. If he can't, he won't be able to walk his own path in life. Ever. A father's influence is not something that is easily erased. However, I'm sure he will be able to change from here on out. Yes, that's right. Surely, you must be right. Will I too be able to walk my own path in life? Okay, is your body alright? Yes, thanks to you. I'm so sorry, even though you're my patient. You ended up getting suspected because of me. Ouch. You can't just take care of the patient's body. You gotta take care of the heart too. That's my granny. Kay, how are your memories? I feel like I'm on the verge of remembering something. Well then, I shall take my leave here. I'll be presiding over Patricia Rowland's trial. That would be the trial for the murder of Horace Knightley. Who's in charge of the defense? Miss Crane was supposed to be a defense attorney. But now that she has passed away, we are currently arranging for a replacement defense attorney. Jill Crane had been in charge of Patricia Rowland's defense. I'll also have to get in contact with Sebastian quickly, since he is the prosecutor in charge. Well then. Please wait. What about Mr. Edgeworth's prosecutor's badge? What will happen to his prosecutor's badge? With the chairman's arrest, the PIC is no longer functional. So I cannot answer that question easily. Perhaps one could say only the Goddess of Law knows. But that's... You don't need to worry about me. This is the path that I have chosen. It seems you have no plans to change it either. Of course not. I chose this path to seek the truth. With the departure of Blaise de Best, the law has once again returned to our hands. If you truly desire to continue the prosecutor's path, I am willing to assist you in reclaiming your badge. I appreciate the sentiment, but I must decline. I did not relinquish my badge with half-hearted feelings. I see. It seems that our paths of law will continue to run counter to each other. Until our paths cross once again, I shall have you hold on to that badge. That was my intention from the start. However, on occasion, the Goddess of Law is quite generous. Please return this notebook to its proper owner. Kay's promises notebook, or promised notebook. It seems this was scheduled to be put up for bidding at the black market auction. The name Kay is written on the notebook. It seems Blaise de Best quickly realised this belonged to the girl, since the letter he found also contained the same name. You speak as if you really did not know about the letters. Are you saying that Blaise really did not prepare the letters himself? Yes, that man said so himself. Kay Faraday's goal was to steal back the notebook. Jill Crane's goal was to get revenge. In order to achieve their goals, the two teamed up to infiltrate the auction. Also, he says. Oh, unfortunately, this is all Blaise's misunderstanding. It was purely a coincidence. Pretty much. If the attorney from the PIC and Kay really were acquaintances, it would be strange that she never mentioned it to me, considering her personality. You really do trust her, don't you? In the end, the notebook was used as another red herring, but... it's something that is very important to that girl, isn't it? I'll make a special exception and return it. I'm sure that's what the Goddess of Law desires. That's, I appreciate it. I shall pray that she recovers her lost memories. Is that it? Not quite. Is something wrong? Oh, is this where it's gonna end? Okay, I'm returning something very important to you. Aww. Ah, this is... Hey, she remembers. That's one hell of a shot. Always greet people with a smile, even people you don't know. Never cry in front of strangers. Oh. Look, Daddy, I wrote them all down. Yep. I'll be sure to follow all of our promises and become a hero just like you, Daddy. Ah, that's right. There was one more. I forgot to write down the most important promise. Promise number 5. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. I'll be sure to remember. I'll never ever forget them. It's now Kay's gonna be back to normal. Just you watch. Always try your hardest to learn things you don't understand. That's right, I am... oh god. Going crazy. I am... the Great Thief! Hey! Who steals the truth. Kay Faraday. She's back. From the second Yatagarasu and Mr. Edgeworth's assistant. Fucking finally! Kay, you remember? It's kinda embarrassing though. Thank you so much. It's all thanks to you, Mr. Edgeworth. Even when I lost my memories, you were still trying to save me, right? Or still always trying to save me. It seems you're back to normal. Wow, okay. You've gotten better. Your health comes first. Now you can relax. Just make sure you don't run off and lose all your memories again. Ah, Miss Jensen, Dr. Young. Thanks for worrying about me. Hey, if you're feeling all better, how about changing back into your own clothes? I washed your clothes for you, okay, so they're nice and clean. These clothes. Wasn't Detective Gumshoe holding onto them? He said forensics was done with them, so he gave them back to me. Have they revealed the results of the analysis yet? To be honest, I actually didn't think to ask about that. No, more importantly, let's hurry up and get you changed, Kay? Still. Isn't it better if we do not remove her bandages? Ah, she should be fine now. Kay just bumped her head. She didn't really have any other major injuries, then why was she so heavily bandaged? Better safe than sorry. A pound of prevention is worth an ounce of cure. That's my motto. What a troublesome motto. Come on, Kay. Let's get you dressed up over here. Or over there. Hey! Now this is definitely what a great thief should look like. A smile certainly suits you best. In the past, and now as well. Miss Von Karma, thank you for coming too. I only came because Scruffy asked me to. That's Scruffy. He also wanted to see your energetic self again. Gummy? What happened to Gummy? Who knows? Maybe he was disgusted with the man who willingly threw away his prosecutor's badge. Detective Gumshoe. I must be going soon. I'll be taking these ladies in for questioning. Ah, what's going to happen to the two of them? One aided in the murder of an attorney, the other forged an autopsy report 18 years ago. Those crimes definitely won't disappear. Of course, I will mention in the court that they were being blackmailed by Blaze. We'll be just fine. As long as Granny's by my side, we're invincible. Well then, take care. Now then, Kay. Sorry to ask you so soon right after you regained your memories, but I have some questions. Sure, ask me anything you want. What were you doing on the day you lost your memories? On that day, I was asked to come to the God Lake. Or to God Lake. I don't know who called me there, though. As I was watching the moon at God Lake, a person in a red raincoat approached me. Oh god, that's creepy. All of a sudden, he used some kind of drug to knock me out. What? What is she saying? The place where Kay saw the moon was at God Lake. When I woke up, it seems I somehow ended up on the roof of the Grand Tower. My mind was still in a daze, so I stumbled around for a bit. That's when I found the person in the red raincoat collapsed. I was startled, and when I stepped back in panic, I fell from a high place and got knocked out cold again. And when I woke up, all my memories were gone. The person in the red raincoat, who exactly was that person? Oh yeah, I was certain that I saw them walking in midair. Somehow this is all starting to make my head hurt. Please calm down. You're just a little confused because you've only recently gotten your memories back. Most likely, this is the main cause of your confused memories. Your memories of two places. You fell in a hole, your name on the no, it's because she has memories of God Lake as well as the roof. This is probably the main cause of your confused memories. You saw the moon at both the God Lake Park and the Grand Tower rooftop, which led you to confuse the two places. Huh? But aren't they totally different places? Even if I was in a daze, do you really think I'd get them confused? Most likely there was something at the Grand Tower which led to your confusion. Probably this. The cherry tree. Or cherry blossom tree. The Grand Tower rooftop and God Lake have 2 points in common. They both have a cherry tree and a food stall. Ah, now that you mention it. Your memories were confused because you had been in two similar locations. The person you first saw could not have been walking in midair. They were simply walking on the ground at God Lake. You must have gotten that scene confused with the Grand Tower rooftop. So that's what happened. Oh, so the person did actually walk from behind the food stall. How dare they steal the memories of a great thief? They'll pay for this. Nevertheless, I wonder who the person that assaulted Kay was. The person in the red raincoat, who appeared at God Lake. Okay. What's that noise? It sounds like it's coming from the storeroom. Mr. Edgeworth, let's go check it out. What's this? My shutterbug sense is tingling. I smell me another scoop. You're still here? Just walking past her. Right. Oh, it was that. Jesus Christ, that fucking shutter. So noisy. Mr. Edgeworth, this walkie-talkie thing in here is beeping. Oh, is what's beeping? This transceiver. Why do I feel like I've seen it somewhere before? Isn't that the transceiver from Case 2-4? So Justice for All? Oh god, I can't remember his name. It's the one that was to do with another samurai thing. It was what Shelley the Killer used to contact Phoenix. It's still beeping, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm not particularly familiar with this sort of device. Come on, we have to answer it. Here goes. Hello, Edgeworth speaking. Okay, please don't just answer it on your own. I'm speaking with Mr. Miles Edgeworth, I presume? This voice is... It's Shelley the Killer again! Oh, okay, yeah, it's evidence, duh. So this is the same walkie-talkie. I congratulate you on resolving the case. However, can you truly say in good conscience that it has been solved? Are you aware of the mastermind who is pulling the strings behind this incident? Why do you know about the incident? That's not important right now. Wouldn't you agree? Right now we're discussing the mastermind behind this case. I've had an inkling that such a person existed, even before you said anything. After all, there was evidence to suggest that someone had used Kay to disrupt the investigation. Okay, that was weird. Huh, there was? So who's this mastermind? Yeah, my frame rate just dipped slightly and I don't know why. I would like to hear your thoughts on the matter. I might just have a background program running or something, I'm not entirely sure. Either way, would you kindly show me the evidence that indicates the existence of a master? A letter... Oh, a victim's letter. Thought to be written by Kay. Yeah, that, probably. It was a letter that Kay allegedly sent to the victim. Come to think of it, I don't remember writing that letter at all. There we go. Who could have prepared this letter? I too am quite curious to know. So you're not the one who wrote the letter. What could I possibly gain from doing such an act? Is it not necessary for you to stand in court in order to make the truth clear? What can you possibly do now that your badge has been taken from you? I look forward to finding out from the shadows. This man, how does he know that? Do we have an understanding? Please ensure you do not betray my trust. Now then, if you'll excuse me. There he goes. He said the case wasn't solved yet. What did he mean by that? And why would Mr. the Killer even bother telling us that? Ugh, nothing makes sense anymore. This case has not reached its true conclusion yet. However, although I've lost my prosecutor's badge, who I am still has not changed. While I don't know where this may lead me, I shall reveal the truth. I swear it. Boom! My god, that was a long fucking case. 3 hours and 40 bloody minutes, basically. The forgotten turnabout, and finally, the grand turnabout. Very good. Yes. Love it. Either way. Oh god, my throat hurts. Wait, the grand turnabout has Sebastian. Wait, so who are the 4 people so far? So basically we have Edgeworth, Courtney, Gregory, Kay, and Sebastian. Nice. Either way, that's going to be the end of the session. God, can't wait for the next session, which is going to be the grand turnabout, which is actually really short. Well, in terms of how many segments there are, there's only 5. There's 2 beginnings, 2 middles, and an end. So there's only 5, but I get the feeling it's probably really lengthy. Either way, we'll find out. Getting closer and closer to the end. I'm looking forward to it. Either way, that's going to be the end of the session. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. And until next time, take care.